Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. Listen here, this is a fact of life. I be rapping like Nat Turner came back to life. Grab Donald Trump by the pussy, he ain't acting right. I never run from a conflict, I be glad to fight. It's a very cold world that we live in. And somebody please tell Elizabeth you're not an Indian. You just trying to con them people to get the benefit. Just another immigrant stealing from the Indians. That's some punk ass shit and that's too lame. Now we finna step over to Andrew Yang. And you a sucker, you could never speak for black folks. Fake ass pandering, trying to get the black vote. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. You know your boy be high off sativa. Kamala wasn't popping, so we said bye, Felicia. She ain't had a right policy. We ain't trying to meet her. Y'all can take Biden too. Bye, we don't need him. We don't need Roland Martin or that coon Al Sharpton. Didn't need Cory Booker from the start, man. I don't fuck with police and no snitch. You know I'm coming with the heat when I spit it. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. If you ever go to court and this is your luck, try not to get fucked by Benjamin Crump. I know it's hard. You and all go is hard. But who the fuck is Amy Cloak? Put her picture up on the bullseye and start throwing darts. People cut our organs out our bodies, that's a stolen heart. They can't save us from the flood like Noah's Ark. Black lives always matter, we finna go for ours. So then we savages, we don't need to pot the piss. Mike Bloomberg can suck dick with that stop and frisk. You ain't speaking for us, we don't know you. Bernie Sanders, they get your funky ass on too. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me.
I'm talking about shout going crazy. People going crazy in them motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it means nothing. Nothing. Got a woman on the day. Man made the car. Man made the train to carry the heavy load. Man made the electrolyte to take us out of the dark. Man made the boat for the water like the seven Noem. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. And man make them happy because man make them joy. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's world.
All right, greetings, Black family. Grand risings, grand risings. Apologizing for last night. I don't know what the hell happened. Just exhausted. But we're gonna show must go on. We're gonna continue where we left off. So when I passed out, we were finishing up with Al Green, and the Shabaka was like, "Hey Jesse, where you at? Where you at?" And I was obviously asleep. So I'm gonna continue off where that left off. I had to damn near scrap the last episode because that was just downright embarrassing. But we do a lot of work to get the news out to y'all. So if you can't understand that, then I guess this wasn't the channel for you. We did lose a subscriber. I do apologize for that. But if you can't deal with, real life issues and people going through whatever that we're going through, especially with Leche being in the hospital and me having to go to the hospital, check up on her every day, and dealing with the shenanigans up in the hospital. Like I said, we had a racist incident yesterday where they basically removed me from the hospital, talking about I was bringing in weapons and all of this shit. All that stuff takes a toll at the end of the day. So I was thoroughly exhausted. I tried to get through it. We did a back-to-back with Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. That ran later than I was expecting, which is why the show last night was later than usual. And yeah, so I'm done explaining. I'm going to hop right into it now. Thank you, Twin. Twin said, shout out to Jesse and Lady Che. Peace, Che. Peace, Twin. And I appreciate everybody that was calling me, trying to wake me up. I do appreciate that. That definitely lets me know that y'all are listening, y'all are tuned in, y'all are tapped in, and y'all are concerned. So I definitely appreciate it. So I'm gonna go right to it because I put the wrong playlist on. Like, it was just really bad. I had cues set up for the show last night, and it just did not go the way it was supposed to go. But we're gonna try to redo it. So the next topic after I fell asleep after Al Green was a sister says that we need to start showing up and showing out at town hall meetings like them folks do. So I think this is Sister Demetria K. She's gonna give us an update on this.
A Black woman on TikTok made this post that I totally agree with, and she says, y'all, not to be political, but we really need to start showing up for our community. I'm at a town hall meeting and it's only white people making decisions for the entire community. And she's absolutely right. We need to get a little bit more involved. For whatever reason, we think, I'll just show up to the federal election, the national election, right? Where it's presidents, maybe some senators and Congress people, but your city council people, the city planning and everything else in between, we don't necessarily show up for that. And yes, there are town hall meetings, city council meetings that happen all the time, at least once a month, right? And so we need to start getting involved in civics because, as she said, they're making all the decisions. Now, I've always said this, us as Black people, we are reactive. So what I mean by that is we hear that they're going to put another pawn shop in our community or another marijuana shop in our community. Then we show up at the city council meeting and say, it's not right. Y'all better not put that in there. But in essence, you should have showed up to the city planning meeting because that's where they make the decisions as to what is going where in whose community, right? Now, them folks, as she said, they show up to the city planning meeting where they're saying, I think a pawn shop will go good over there in Beverly Hills. And they're like, oh, no, you won't. You're not putting no pawn shop over here where the white folks live. You could put it over there where they live. And that's normally what they do. So we will notice that their building is like, we got enough Popeyes over here. We don't need no more chicken. But it's too late at that point. You got to show up like they do. Because one thing about them, they're like, oh, no, you won't, buddy. You put that in our neighborhood and see what happens. You won't be here next year. You can bet on that. And they mean that. But us, we like to cry when the nails and the stakes in the wood is already being, erected on the foundation of the checking the cash that we don't need in our neighborhood. We got enough. And we know why they put that stuff in our neighborhoods. But yeah, We got to start getting more involved. It's not just about the national election. It's really more so about the city council meetings, because they affect you more directly than a president will. Yeah, he's got some federal things he does, but on the local level, yeah, they decide on what goes where. They decide who's going to get their potholes fixed first, and a whole host of other things. The mayor, right? He's or she is the president of the city, so you should go and show up and see what they talking about, because you don't ever know what they talk about normally in the Black community until they already talked about it, signed it, and they're already doing whatever they said they were going to talk about. So as Black people, we need to start showing up more to these city hall meetings, city council, whatever it is. And we also need to be proactive and not reactive. So y'all tell me what you think of that. And for more,
I agree wholeheartedly, Sister Demetria K. This is exactly why I've been attending my local city council meetings for the past 10 years. Been 10 years. Yeah. Some Muz was laughing at me saying that was strange that I was attending city council meetings. I wanted to know how the city worked, how it operated, especially since I decided to run for political office 3 times. I wanted to know exactly the ins and outs of how the process works to get these laws passed, to get stuff on the books and all of that. So yeah, we do need to start attending these town hall meetings and city council meetings more so than we do currently. I mean, like I said, I've been doing it for 10 years. I brought Lady Che on board. It was my pops that got me involved in it in the first place, because he was attending the city council meetings before me. And then I just continued where he left off. So it is crucial. I mean, I'm known in the city for attending these city council meetings. I've had whole articles written about me for what I've said at these town hall meetings. But she's right, you got to start at the planning board with a lot of this stuff, because the planning board, when it hits the planning board, that's when you want to get your grievances out and all that. By the time it hits city council, it's usually too late, especially when it hits the full council. It's definitely too late in Denver's case, because a lot of this stuff is in planning committee, so you got to be on top of that stuff. And they have these meetings when most people are at work, most people aren't able to attend, so they purposely do that shit so they can't get community input. And then when they bring it to the full council, they've already made their minds up. Like I said, they got their mind made up. They can get into it. So you want to get your ideas across before they go to full council. In Denver's case, we have the planning board, and we have the subcommittee. Usually when it gets to subcommittee, they might open it up for public comment, and you can voice your concerns or approvals. And then when it gets to the full council, then they do the full vote, and then it gets passed into law. Usually that's how it works. Sometimes there's some exceptions, but usually that's how it goes. It could be different where you are at, but in Denver, that's how it operates. So get more involved, more engaged in what's happening at your local and state level. Most people focus on what's happening with the president and what's happening at the federal level, but what affects your day-to-day is your local and state politics and what's happening there. So I'm very engaged, very active. That's why when people was talking about on Shabbat like experience enhanced, we need action. Shit, I am the epitome of action. This is why I'm so exhausted when it comes to doing these shows, because I've been doing so much action in the community, and then when it comes time to report on it, I'm thoroughly exhausted, and rightfully so, because I put in a lot of work. So appreciate y'all sticking with us through thick and thin. We definitely appreciate it. So yeah, start attending your city council meetings. Find out when they are. If you're off or you're available, make sure you attend. And if you're not able to attend, at least listen to the playback. A lot of these meetings are recorded. You can listen to them at a later date, and just be more politically engaged if you want to participate in this process. Now, understand, don't lose all hope in the process. But if you're going to engage, just know that it's more so at the local level that affects you than what happens at the presidential. So focus more on what's happening locally and statewide opposed to at the federal. And like Twin said, vote me. Yeah, I might run again. I'm gonna run again, y'all, in 2026 for House District 8 again, here in the state of Colorado, or for mayor in 2027, because I just cannot let my nemesis get in. There's just no way in hell I'm letting my nemesis get in. Hell over water, because that mug, he don't mean it's no good. He for everybody. He ain't gonna do nothing for black people at all. And that bastard that's in right now, the only reason why he won is because Mike Bloomberg gave him $6 million during the runoff campaign against Kelly Brotha. So that's why Mike Johnston is the mayor of Denver, opposed to Kelly Brotha or myself, because money does factor in. And when you have millions of dollars at your disposal, you can do a lot of things in a political campaign. And that bastard was able to do it and get in. And you see how he is now kicking for the migrants. He's sitting up there talking about we're not a sanctuary city, but we welcome all everyone. No, the hell you don't. You only welcome select people, and you go out your way to ignore others, especially the foundational Black Americans, descendants of American child slavery freedmen that built this country, built this city, built this state, all the above. So I'm gonna move on to the next topic, and now this is Latinos. The Latinos are trying to get us to support their causes, and like I've stated numerous times, they use us for an American value, and then they abandon us in our time of need. And them days are long over. They can hold their own chalupa. So Uncle Phil's gonna give us an update on that. Says Latinos claim FBAs and Latinos have always been together since the Civil Rights Movement and stopped beefing. No, y'all used us for an American value during the Civil Rights Movement, and then when y'all got some benefit out of it, y'all abandoned us. And that's been our relationship with these other groups. This is why the cape has been off for 6 years. We're not caping for the other groups. Y'all can hold your own nuts. We're not doing it no more. But let's see what this Latina had to say. So Uncle Phil's gonna give us an update.
Helping to end injustice by exposure.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are here. It is, what is it, Tuesday? Yeah, we're trucking along Tuesday, March 11th. Thank you for joining us here tonight. We're going to have a little conversation about a video that's kind of making its rounds on social media with a young Latina that is speaking about, FBAs and the Latino community.
Appreciate your patience.
So we're going to have a conversation about that tonight.
Or 2 weeks.
And hope everybody's doing good. Some people on spring break, man, let me tell you, I don't know why everybody has to send it upon Houston.
Everybody's in
spring break. Why? We don't get the spring breakers here. I don't know what happened with that. They done flooded the rodeo, made the rodeo 2-pack, accidents all over the place that we haven't been seeing. Like, where these people come from? I mean, we are not usually a place that spring breakers like to come to. That's usually the Miamis and all the spots like that. You know what I'm saying? So they done came over here and, oh, man, I'm just trying to figure out why everybody came to Houston. I'm just trying to figure that part out. I don't know, because, it's not like Houston has a beach. I know Galveston, but Galveston, shoot, that's further down the coastline. That's not in Houston. Yeah. But I guess, everybody want to, some people like Houston. People say, man, I love it out here in Houston. One thing about Houston, yes, is a lot of black people in Houston, that's for sure. A lot of successful black people is in Houston. It is positive to see that, because it's not one of them cities that, you see black people, they poor and destitute. No, you see black people riding anything you could think of. They're living good. They're dressing good. I mean, it's definitely positive for a lot of black people here. But people coming here not paying attention to success or business or nothing like that. They come out here to party. And Houston is a city. You can't go out 7 days a week here. Literally 7 days a week, you can go out here. If you're that kind of person that want to party every day, but you'll be broke. Because these scriptures teach that people that party like that will surely come into poverty.
Yep.
Yeah, because with $20 parking everywhere, and then cover charges, and them selling drinks now from $15 to $20 a drink, yeah, you can be broke very quick, right? So, just forewarning you, you want to party, you gonna end up finding out, well, my money went. That's where your money went, in the drinks. Because really, the drinks, man, I went to this particular establishment. I couldn't believe how much they were charging for shots. And, my wife, was enjoying herself and stuff like that. I just couldn't believe it. Like, 'cause I remember what shots used to cost. And then I see what the cost is now. Like, then I know what those bottles cost in the store. That's why I'm like, look, if you can find you a good BYOB establishment, that's the best place to go, because you will save money on alcohol all day long if that's what you want to do. So, hold on. Why people are calling names? What's going on, Buck Horse? Why we don't be getting hostile in the comments now. You say Patron tree is $300. You see, I'm cool.
I'm cool on that.
Listen, I'm willing. I think the most we have paid for a bottle of something was in Costa Rica. We bought this particular rum in Costa Rica, because I prefer to buy, if I'm gonna buy a bottle of something, I prefer to buy it out the country, because we've actually bought the same thing here in the States. They changed the liquor here in the States, and so I would tell people, whatever they quote unquote import, it's not the same as you buying it from those countries. So just like, do you know, like tequila don't supposed to make you drunk. People like, oh, shots. That's not even how you're supposed to drink tequila. I've tried tequila from Mexico, and it don't taste the same.
No, it don't. And
I tried they flavored tequilas, which was pretty good, and you could drink it straight, and it don't get you drunk. But you drink this mess here, and people be popping shots and all that, getting all sloppy drunk. Yeah, it's just not the same. So, but like I said, I'm not one to sit up there and drink all the time. I'm really not. But hey, for those of you who like to do that, now I say please drink socially if you choose to drink. Because in Texas, those of you on spring break, they are very serious about DUI here. Very serious. And your behind will go to jail real quick. Seriously. So Colorado, if you can't handle your liquor and you want to get behind the wheel, man, you better call Uber or something. I don't know, because they don't play here in Texas. When you cross that state line, well, I know a lot of you probably didn't drive in, but some of you did. They got a sign when you come across the state line from Louisiana. The big sign say "Don't mess with Texas." They mean that mess. They mean every bit of that. Don't you mess with Texas.
Don't mess with Texas. All right.
So, you say you've been to Texas 3 times. It's true. There's no alcohol tax. Yeah. It's state tax. Texas also have a state tax
in the morning
as well.
The liquor store.
So also I want to thank everybody who's been downloading the African Diaspora News Channel app. Of course, we always say we like to see if we can get 10 people per live stream. 10 people to join the app, whether you choose to do monthly, quarterly, annual. And we'll have another annual sale coming up, probably Easter weekend. Just for Easter weekend only. We'll have probably another annual, just for the annual, 20% off. That's what a lot of people like. And we all have lifetime. I'll say jump on a lifetime if you can, because January 1 of next year, prices will go up on the app. So we didn't do it this year. We held off. So lock in yourself if you want to on the lifetime side. Also, those of you who enjoy the Slay Queen show, that will have Thursday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you enjoy that. Let me tell you something. I told you before, I'm going to say this again. Politics, I can do that too easy. But producing other things, other genres, and also everything I do is about telling a story. It may look a certain way, but it's still telling a story, right? Yeah. So finding out who's these people, what's their lifestyle, what got them into certain things they're doing, how they're doing it. it's good to find out different things, and also people things going on the continent as well. Sure, you can do too many people doing that here in America, so it's like it's kind of saturated. But so we're doing it over there, and it's not as saturated as it is here. That's what happened to the podcast space, and all it got too saturated. And sometimes when something's too saturated, you don't hit as it normally would if it's not as saturated. So I think after a year, we're gonna be in a good spot with some, at least with that particular show. But shout out to all the Slay Queens out there, and if you are a Slay Queen and want to be on the Slay Queen show, let us know. We'll definitely could talk to you. All right. Let's get to it because we got a excuse me, history lesson and all that to get to tonight.
Yeah, come on.
We got this video, and you see a drunk driver ran. You know, I had a family member that happened to as well. Now, my family member, I didn't agree with what they did. They decided to chase down the drunk driver because it was a hit and run. It surely was dangerous, but the person got arrested because of it. But but all right, so let's get to this video. And I want you to hear this video, and we got to walk through some history and things like that. So let's go ahead and get into it.
The Latino and Black communities have always been like this, and we should continue staying like that. There's no reason why the two communities should be fighting. Okay, we have fought next to each other, side by side, since the civil rights movement. Okay, there's no time for beef on either side. We need to stand together, especially with everything that's going on right now in this country. So just a reminder that the Latino community and the Black community are like this always.
We're not. Bitch, you smoking all kinds of base.
Okay, all right. So let me put out my disclaimer before I start talking about history and just talking about a few things for why what she says is just historically false.
Right.
I have people that watch AD&C that are from the Latino community. I have met a lot of you over the years. I've met some of you at Disney. I've met some of you in Houston for sure, and you enjoy the programming. You relate to it and everything. And anybody that watches our show, no matter what community you come from, I've met Asian people that watch the show. I've met some folks that watch the show and they enjoy. Anybody that enjoy AD&C, I'm glad to have you here. Nice to meet you. I've met some of your families out there in public over the years.
That's nice.
And that's nice.
Horrible.
So this may not even apply to her. Maybe she's been down and been cool and fighting, with Black folks her whole life. Maybe she's coming from that angle. Don't know. But we have to talk about history. We have to talk about why some things is the way they are. And I can tell you historically, it was not FBAs that did not want to unify.
Right.
It wasn't FBAs. Listen, let me tell you something. FBAs was fighting for the unification of Blacks and Latinos so much that it made FBAs look ridiculous. Matter of fact, straight down embarrassing, right? It's like trying to be in a relationship with a woman that don't want you. And every time you see this woman say, that's my girlfriend, that's my girlfriend, that's my girlfriend, she's like, no, I'm not. Why do you keep saying that? I'm like, clearly I'm not with you. I'm not going on dates with you. I'm not even entertaining you. But yeah, you telling everybody, me and you together? Like the woman, like, I got a boyfriend. I'm in a relationship with somebody. And you keep telling people I'm your girlfriend. Like, what's wrong with you? Stop being weird. People say that, right? Well, that's how FBAs were with the Black and brown thing, right? We've had our leaders, in the past saying Black and brown. But it wasn't something that was agreed to. You seen Jesse Jackson say Black and brown. Al Sharpton say Black and brown. I'm just mentioning the people who did it.
What's his name?
You seen
Martin Luther King III
here locally in Houston.
Black and brown.
Things happen, to discrimination with a Mexican person. Cornel X is right there with them, right? It's not their people. It's Cornel X, or it could be Candace Matthews. Shout out to Dr. Candace Matthews. Could be one of them assisting, right? Not even someone from their own community who are here locally, right here in Houston, right? But let me replay it again, and then we need to get to some history. We're gonna go to just a few spots in history and even go up to modern times. Let's play it again.
The Latino and Black communities have always been like this, and we should continue staying like that. There's no reason why the two communities should be fighting. Okay, we have fought next to each other, side by side, since the civil rights movement.
That's crazy.
Okay, all right. So she said we've been fighting side by side since the civil rights movement. And I would say, ma'am, that is categorically false.
Right.
You have an organization in your community called LULAC. Do you know of that organization?
Yeah.
Now, there was a gentleman. Let me go ahead on and get on my screen here. Where's the LULAC page? There we go. Okay. Let me put this gentleman up here so you can kind of see where he is. All right. This gentleman right here, that's on the lulac.org website, Felix Tijerina, right?
Felix Tijerina.
This gentleman right here, of course, if you read what they say here about him, man, he sounds like a great guy. He sounds like such a great guy that did just great things. They say he was a restaurateur, a civic leader, philanthropist. They say in 1928 he launched his entrepreneurial journey by opening his first restaurant, the Mexican Inn, eventually expanded to 4 locations in Houston. He served as LULAC's national president from 1956 to 1960. It's Tijerina's most significant achievement is the founding of Little School of the 400, a program. It sounds so great what Felix was doing, right? So great. And I wish that's what it was with Felix. But, ma'am, Felix was not on our side, ma'am.
Not at all.
Now, let me see if I can, let me click over here. Now, I want you to see this on the screen, ma'am. I'm trying to give you a little education in your history. And it's so much I can read here, but I'm just going to start here. Now, some Mexican Americans asserted their whiteness aggressively in their interactions with blacks. In 1950, unknown vigilantes detonated a series of 15 bombs at the homes of blacks who were integrating a white neighborhood. They said like bombings in Birmingham, Alabama, and other southern cities. They said the terrorist acts in Dallas stemmed from the migration of blacks out of the overcrowded, segregated neighborhood and into areas zoned for white use. But in South Dallas, 2 of the main suspects were Mexican American men who felt threatened by the encroachment of African American families into white neighborhoods, not their neighborhoods, white neighborhoods. One of the individuals, Pete Garcia, later admitted that he had painted 4 whites only signs in the neighborhood, threatened black home buyers with a knife, and chased 2 African American real estate agents out of the area. Even some civil rights activists were inclined to assert their whiteness through acts of discrimination against blacks, although they did so with their words rather than dynamite. Now, LULAC leader, the gentleman we just looked at, hold on, let's go back to where we was at. This guy right here, that's why I wanted to point out more than anything else. LULAC leader Tijerina enforced a strict Jim Crow policy at his business. Ma'am, he was the leader of the oldest Latino civil rights organization. And this is what this gentleman was doing. He's hailed a hero on the website. He enforced a strict Jim Crow policy at his business. He took the unusual step of posting a detailed policy statement titled Negroes on the serving of the blacks in his Felix Mexican restaurant.
Salute.
Most eating establishments simply hung a whites only sign, but Tijerina charted out specific situations and gave his staff stock statements to use if African Americans attempted to be seated at one of his restaurants. Tijerina and others like him clearly hoped that by drawing a sharp distinction between themselves and blacks, Mexican Americans might pull themselves into alliance with the whites. Okay, ma'am. So ma'am, it's so much I can go into with that alone. But let me see if I can get back on the screen. Ma'am, that was one of your major leaders.
Yep.
Now, people quote him a lot when he said, I don't want to align with black people and they fight and all of that. That whole article, I can just do a whole stream on. So, no, your leaders, we were not together.
Nope.
How one of your major leaders was enforcing Jim Crow at his restaurant, and he was not a white person. Matter of fact, the white people wanted to give the category, like, you have black, white, and everything as a race. They want to have Mexican as a race. It was people like Felix that fought against the classification as Mexican in this country, and Felix fought for them to be classified as white. You understand? This is what Felix and LULAC done.
That part.
They did not join with Martin Luther King.
Nope.
They did not join with Medgar Evers.
Nope.
They did not join. Let me quote the Democrat Shields right now. They didn't go join John Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't march on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. They wasn't in Selma.
Nope.
Okay? They wasn't there.
In Selma, y'all.
But some of y'all today will come up and try to say, yeah, we were getting beaten in Selma too. No, you wouldn't. Because see, I'm noticing all this revisionist history starting to come in now with other groups and saying how they were in certain places and they were there. That Fat Joe stuff.
Yeah.
That's it. Y'all pulling a Fat Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we was there with hip hop. We was there. We took a picture.
Get them, Uncle Phil.
How many of y'all even took a picture? Well, this one guy took a picture. That means we was at the beginning of hip hop too. Like, what's up with all this revisionist history and try to crowbar your way into things? I take issue with people lying when we got documented history of what happened. So, no ma'am. Now, I understand why our people wanted a Black and Brown alliance. I understand why. I'm going to tell you why. Because our heart is very big. And we see how the folks discriminate against Latinos. We see that, right? We know how they treat them bad. We know. So we like, well, that's another discriminated group. And we see how bad they do them. Why don't we join together, right? You know, now you have to understand the time period that we were in. We were in the minorities, right? We was into, Black and brown. The mindset, if you think about it, is logical. The mindset was that Black and Latinos joined together. You look at our populations, we would literally outnumber the folks, and we can literally run this country as Blacks and Latinos, right? Latinos been done wrong, FBAs been done wrong. That was the mindset. What our people did not know
was the tethers,
and what defeated that was the Felix T. Arenas with the proximity to wanting to whiteness. Now, I'm not saying all Latinos want to be on that. And you have to understand, not all Latinos can be on that. Because what our people did not know, and that's why travel is very important, you got to get out your neighborhood so you can understand these even other groups that's in this country. If you go to Latin America, colorism is heavy. Anti-Black racism and colorism is the same.
Yep, goes hand in hand.
If you go look at the majority of the leaders in Latin America, none of them are Black. You got one vice president in Colombia who's Black, but everybody's not Black. And if you do the research on Black people in Latin America, they suffering too. They go through discrimination. And they don't have laws like we have here that we fought for. So they can really be openly discriminated against in Latin America.
That part.
Whether you go to Costa Rica, where the Black folks at there, you can go to Mexico where the Black folks at, Panama, Honduras. Black folks is in every country. I mean, the majority of Black folks in this hemisphere is actually not in America, but in Brazil.
Yep.
You have double the population of what we are in Brazil.
Yep.
A lot of Black folks in Brazil. More slaves were brought to Brazil than was brought here in the United States.
Yep. That's what we always.
And our brothers and sisters in Brazil go through a lot of racism, extrajudicial killings by police. I remember not too long, a couple of years ago, they had this activist that was killed by the police, that she was always fighting against police brutality.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have the laws that we have here that FBAs fought for. That's why, I say that part of this year, I wanted to bring somebody in that covers that sort of stuff in Latin America, that lives there, of course. They can't be living here. But that's a rule of mine. If I bring somebody in, they can't live here. They got to live over there. You can't be here in America talking about something over there. No. You need to be over there. How can you report on something you're not even in the country?
Right.
No. But anyway, we didn't know about that part of it. We didn't know. We just didn't know. The Spanish did a number on them too.
Yep.
Right? So when it come here, the folks like, well, you know what? I can use this population actually as a buffer to harm FBAs.
That's what you're reading.
So I'm gonna give you a little proximity to whiteness. You on the team, right? Remember, Felix wanted to be on the team. So in order to be on the team, I got to go a lot harder on some anti-black racism to show the folks that I'm deserving of my honorary white status. Now we talking about Felix, Lulac at that time. I don't know nobody in Lulac now. I'm not saying what they on. I'm not accusing nobody of anything. That's not what I'm doing. I'm only talking about history, okay? History. And there's a book, if you really want to get into it, which quotes a lot of this. Hold on, let me get to that book. It's called Fighting Their Own Battles.
Yeah, Fighting Their Own Battles.
Right, that's the book right there. Fighting Their Own Battles. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. You can see it. Hopefully, well, it won't come up now. Okay, I guess it won't come up. But that's it, right? And even here, when they talk about the review of that, they say that, you know, let the Negro fight their own battles, declared Felix Tijerina, a Mexican-American civil rights activist in Texas, the national president of LULAC, that he was responding to a suggestion by some LULAC colleagues that Mexican-Americans allied with African-Americans. So some of his colleagues in LULAC say, hey, man, we need to join with black folk, right? This what some of them said at the time. He's the one that said, the Negro's problems are not mine. He said, I don't want to ally with him. And then 13 years later, Reverend Leon Everett, the lone black member of the Houston School Board and the leader of local chapter of the NAACP, expressed pessimism over the possibility for a black-brown unity after a Mexican-American youth told him, we don't want to go to school with blacks because they are dirty. As a black man, I would join, he said, any group of oppressed people. He said, but when a group employs the same form of discrimination that I've been up against all these years, I will cut them loose.
Right.
See, that's when the NAACP was about something, not like they are today.
Yeah.
And say, because you know the NAACP would never talk like that way today. Oh, hell no. It say every proved just as susceptible to the monolithic view denouncing Mexican Americans en masse as he to declare to let them fight their own battles. So you can keep going in this article talking about all of that, but what I'm saying is, and I'm trying to get to a point. No, we was not together in civil rights. No, we was not. That's the hit, but some of them wanted to join. So that's history too. Some wanted to. When people like Felix say, "Oh hell no, because I want to lay my lot on white supremacy." That's what Felix wanted, and he was a leader at that time. And the people that wanted to join with black folks, see, if they can go back in time, they would have went with those LULAC members that wanted to join black folks, because if they can go back in time, like Back to the Future, and the time machine, and made that decision, if they came back to 2025, they'll be in like 10 steps ahead. Right now, they'll join with FBAs. Maybe the country would be totally different. They'll join with FBAs back then in the civil rights movement time, instead of choosing the path of the devil. See, this what happened. They chose the path of the devil instead of choosing the path of righteousness, because our fight was a righteous fight.
Yeah.
That's what our path was. It was righteousness. It was nothing evil about that. I would never sit up here and say, I want to go join any group of people that's oppressing people, that's taking the lives of people, that's stealing from people, that's bombing churches, that's violating women and children. Man, listen, y'all go through and study what our people went through during the civil rights movement. Like when these people always try to say, oh, a black man gonna sit up here and try to violate a white woman, man, please. That is a freaking lie.
Right.
Black men didn't do no crap like that.
Right.
They used to on weekends go looking, preying on black women and girls.
Yep.
Trying to see if they can find them alone so they can gang violate black women and girls.
Yeah.
That is history.
That is history.
They made laws even during slavery that they can violate and they won't get nothing happen to them. Like they are the last group of people that talk about anybody touching anybody. Okay. Now, let's play this. Let's listen again. I want to ask something else.
Okay, there's no time for beef on either side. We need to stand together, especially with everything that's going on right now in this country. So just a reminder that the Latino community and the Black community are like this always.
Oh, the hell we're not.
Okay.
We've been like that.
Now let's fast forward to something else. See the issue is always her descendants may be the people in LULAC that want to join with FBAs. Maybe that's her descendants. Right. But see, the problem is you also have your descendants of Felix Tijerina too, and his mindset. within your own community. See, now let's fast forward to the 2024 election. Maybe somebody like her would say, nah, we can't vote for Trump because Trump gonna just get us out of here, and he don't care. So I'm not gonna vote for Trump like that. But then people like Felix Tiarina, in their mindset, oh yeah, we need Trump. We need to get them out because they hate their own people. They don't even like their own. Do you know, like within their community, those who are here, first generation, a lot of them look down on those who come over here or immigrate here. They look down on them.
Yep.
They really look down on them. They don't want them here. That's why you've seen a lot of them voting for Trump, because they don't want them here.
Yeah.
So they don't get along like people think they do. Now, let's look at something that we know that's very famous, right? Let me get to this. One of our friends, right here. I know y'all remember her. I know y'all remember our friend Nuri Martinez.
Nuri Martinez, yeah, the one.
I remember Nuri, right?
That little black boy, a monkey.
You remember Nuri was on the LA City Council, and there was an audio that came out. If y'all remember this, a couple of years ago,
yep.
Right?
2021.
And Nuri ended up having to resign over this. Now, what date is this written? Oh, this was actually 2022. Okay. See, this is the issue and problem, ma'am. Now, I would say she's more like the mindset of Felix Tiarina, right? She's not maybe on your mindset. The problem is too many people like Nuri Martinez are in positions.
Yep.
Now let's rehash it. They say behind closed doors, LA City Council president, she was the president, Nuri Martinez made openly racist remarks. The writer, some of her council colleagues, and spoke in unusually crass terms about how the city could be carved up politically. She wanted to take from FBAs. This is Nuri here on a political level. And it wasn't meant for FBAs, Nuri wouldn't be here.
Right.
So until a leak recording, it reverberated explosive Sunday, they said turns the focus of, okay, fine. Let's say by Sunday evening, Lee had become new and incendiary issue coming up on the November election. And all of that, of course, you know, they said that one of the white council members had a black adopted child and said he was accessory, and described Councilman Bonin's son as Patricia Changuito. They say like a monkey, okay? And then with one, I don't show that word, but this is but talking about the Oaxacans. Now, you remember I told y'all within their community they got colorism issues?
Yep.
Well, the Oaxacans, if you know about them, they're the indigenous people.
Yep.
The Oaxacans could be about my color or a little lighter, but they're dark. They're dark people in Mexico, the Oaxacans.
Yep.
And saying Martinez also mocked Oaxacans and said, F that guy, he's with the blacks. Okay? And that's what, like, the famous quote everybody posts with Nuri Martinez. They say, F that guy, he's with the blacks. Now, when they say the blacks, usually I know what they own, right? Now, this is the thing. She resigned in the end and all of that, right? Well, we know Nuri Martinez resigned.
Yeah.
And she went on by her business and all of that. She kind of ruined her political, she did ruin her political career.
Yeah.
And everything. She can't be over there. Now, the Oaxacans were protesting about her
Yeah.
with black folk. So it was the Oaxacans and black folks that was out there protesting in Los Angeles. So, ma'am, from the civil rights time, no. You fast forward to 2022, no. That didn't want to unify with the blacks, right? Maybe you want to unify with black people, and that's fine. That's why I tell people I judge you by individualism. That's individuals. If you are an individual of a different community, and you are in line with FBAs, you believe in reparations.
Yeah.
You believe in the anti-black hate crime bill. If you believe, say, hey man, I want to see black people be good because they be good. Sure, I know we'll be good in the end. If you're that kind of person, I'm with you.
Fighting for reparations.
But I just don't take a whole group, because the deal is every group has a Felix Tiarina in it, and every group have a few people that want to unify too. I've seen that, so I can't just say everybody in the community. No. I'm gonna do that because it's ignorance. But you have your Felix Tiarinas, and you have your own internal self-hatred that has nothing to do with us. And we're not going to be involved in your self-hatred, because unfortunately we got our own self-hatred in our own community.
Right.
Right? Now, you may say, well, Phil, why do she, and hold on, before I get to that, let's go back to this. I like to keep bringing this up too. Hold on, let me get back to it. We go back to the 2024 election, and you had more of the men in the community voted for Trump, which is 54%, and the women, well, more of the women actually voted for Kamala. Okay, but your men voted more so, but even that's a high number, 39%. And the reason why a lot of black women are saying I'm cool with these other groups of women is because even though they didn't vote as high as they voted more for Kamala, that's still a lot of vote for Trump, in which they had way more to lose from Trump than any other group. We just keeping it 100, right? So let's get to why is she saying this? Why are we seeing more and more videos of people coming out and say, hey, FBAs, we always been together. FBAs, let's work together. That's not beef. Like I said, we have not beef with nobody. We as FBAs, we have not beef with any group, or we didn't do any group anything.
Right.
We don't have a beef with nobody. Everybody have beef with us. Let me tell you something, ma'am. In Los Angeles, some of the gangs in your community are spraying NK different places. And I don't really, on this platform, you already know what NK means. I don't have to really say it, right? Ma'am, this is in your community.
Nigger killer, that's what it means.
So, ma'am, you can't even talk about any kind of unification until you deal with all of those problems in your own community. And then another issue, Latinos who are black.
Yeah.
There are people in your community that would dismiss them and not call them Latino and say they just black or they speak Spanish. I'm like, how do you know Spanish? Oh my God, who taught you that? And they from freaking Panama. They grew up in Panama and they speak Spanish, but they speak English too. But yeah, you're like, oh my God, how you learn that? So a black person in a lot of the people minds in your community, ma'am, that Spanish don't belong to them. Spanish only belong to people like yourself. Go watch the videos of Afro-Latinos or Latinas, and you'll see them talk about that. Now, they got the same accents they have, the same everything, but yet, how do they know Spanish? So y'all have a lot of issues in your own community. So we're not going to come into that mess.
Right.
We're not. Number two, why unify now? Black folks been literally embarrassing ourselves for years, begging to unify with you. Begging. Making ourselves look bad. Begging.
Yep.
And just as of recently, and I mean, when I say recent, I could say definitely after the 2024 election, but I'm gonna say in the past 2 years or so, when that really got everybody starting to slowly delineate, and now delineation is here. Why now?
Right.
Why now?
I know.
I'm gonna tell you why now. Because everybody needs FBAs to be on the front line. And when FBAs are not on the front line, and everybody got to deal with that monster called white supremacy, these groups of people have never stood up to it.
Yep.
So that monster is literally mowing them down, beating them up, kicking them, stomping them, and everything else. See, we have been the defenders of all these other groups. And now the defenders we chilling.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We are good.
Yep. You can hold your own.
And that us sitting down is freaking everybody out. They're like, what are they doing? They tried everything possible to get us out of our rest, to get us off the couch, to get us not focused back on some craziness.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Do you know why a lot of black people in this country die so soon? Stress. Why are we stressed? Fighting these people constantly. Watch your blood pressure levels when you chilling.
Yeah.
Then go check your blood pressure when you're stressed constantly. I can tell you from experience over the summer, I had some extreme stress that I've never felt in my life. And for the first time in my life, because of extreme stress, I dealt with maybe 2 things of anxiety attacks. I never had an anxiety attack in my life. I thought I was having a heart attack, the way that was feeling to me.
Damn.
Right? I've never experienced that in my life. And I can tell, I checked my blood pressure. My blood pressure was in a range I've never seen before. I mean, it was crazy. It was utterly crazy. And it was literally stress that did that to me.
Yeah.
Okay? FBAs deal with chronic stress because of constantly fighting.
Constantly.
And FBAs have never really sat down. They never said. So they're so used to us fighting. They're so used to us literally tiring ourselves out, shortening our lifespan.
Yep.
Why we got so much high blood pressure? Yeah, some because of what we eat too. But a lot of the blood pressure we have is because of stress. Sometimes we stress eat.
Yeah.
How many of you have dealt with a lot of stress and you were stress eating, then you stop being stressed, you stop stress eating?
Yep.
Some people are so stressed in our community, they self-medicate.
Yep.
Some of our people self-medicate with all the time. They can't go a day without it.
Yep.
They don't get down to the root of why they do that every day. And if they get down to the root of why, a lot of it is due to the stress of what they deal with as a black man or woman in America.
Yep.
And when they get out of America and they don't feel that weight that's on our shoulders, and you don't know the weight that you have until you leave America. I'm telling you, leave America for a week and you will see what I'm talking about. And when you come back into America, like, oh my God, you feel that weight come back on you. It is a oppressive spirit over this land. I'm telling you, it is.
Yep.
Black folks have not known to chill, and they doing everything possible to get us, try to get us riled up.
Yep.
Like that Black Lives Matter mural in Washington, D.C. Oh, they removing it, black people. Oh, look what they're doing. Aren't you mad?
No.
I know when that happened, black people did not ask for Black Lives Matter to be put across the street.
Right.
Black people talking about justice for George Floyd. That's number symbolism. And black folks don't support no Black Lives Matter anyway, because it was just a Democrat organization that was used to finesse money to the LGBT, and everybody got paid with Black Lives Matter. None of the money went to the Black Lives Matter chapters, who was actually doing the real work in the street, who really believe Black Lives Matter. They wasn't getting it, the grassroots people. They didn't get nothing. But them 3 women from Black Lives Matter and everybody else, you know, D-rating that, everybody was getting paid. But the soldiers in the streets can get crap. You understand? Let them take Black Lives Matter off the street. So, take it. That's not gonna hurt us. We didn't listen. All my life I've been living. There was no Black Lives Matter on the street, and guess what? I've been fine. And you take Black Lives Matter off the street, and trusting black folks in DC gonna be just fine.
Right.
If they can hurt your feelings by taking something they put down, they chose to, that we even asked for, that hurt your feelings or get you riled up, something wrong with you.
Right.
Now they want to say, oh, well, hey, Trump, why don't you pardon Derek Chauvin? Okay, pardon him. Go ahead and pardon him.
He still got to do a state sentence.
It's not gonna make me get mad.
The federal pardon ain't gonna do nothing.
Because he got stabbed up in jail anyway.
Yep.
He having a good time in jail. But pardon him if you want to. Yeah. Because y'all do what y'all want to do anyway. What we gonna do at that point? George Zimmerman's still running around. So they trying to do so many different things to get us back out there. Like, they gotta listen. You have to understand. They gotta suck out our life force.
Right, man.
And they know us fighting constantly and never getting a break is sucking out our life force. And for the first time in a long time, we actually said, no, y'all got it. Y'all deal with it. And they freaking out.
Yep.
And Trump is tearing them up.
Yeah, he is.
They all freaking out. The stock market is going crazy. Everything is going crazy. Every day is a new drama with Trump. And hey, I'm loving it. I'm loving every bit of it.
Me too.
but FBAs are just fine. We don't listen. Felix Tiarina had the right mindset. I don't want an ally. That's y'all problem. That's what Felix said.
Yeah.
So what FBAs are saying now, delineation is, that's y'all problems.
Hold your own.
We don't want an ally because we have so many problems that we neglected in our community that we've been fighting and trying to preserve everybody else's. Now we can actually focus on our children.
That's right.
Right? We can focus on our health, which we don't focus on.
Yeah. You're right.
Men, black men, go to the doctor, brother.
Yep.
Go to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait till you're feeling bad to go. Brother, you need to go at least once a year, brother.
Yep. You're right, Uncle Phil.
Brother, sometimes I know you're hurting. Listen, I know black men, we suffer in silence, men.
Mm-hmm.
We suffer in silence. We don't have nobody to talk to a lot of times. Figure out ways to deprocess your stress. That's taking a lot of our brothers. Do you know a lot of the lifespan? A lot of brothers now it's like a slave's lifespan.
Yeah, that's sad.
Brothers are dying now between 45 to 65.
Oh wait.
It's not good.
Another 7 years.
And I've been doing research into why men been dying so soon. And one of the major things is chronic stress.
Mm-hmm.
Now, take it up a notch with anti-black racism, which creates a lot of chronic stress.
Right, he ain't lying, twin.
You understand? And of course, abusive habits like drinking too much, smoking drugs, doing drugs, whatever. Some of you are reckless in just how you live. That comes to a lot of it too. But a lot of men don't go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Especially single men, you probably won't go to the doctor. Now you got a wife, your wife probably make you go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I ain't seen you go to the doctor. You going? If I gotta go with you, you going?
Went through that with my
right?
father.
So men, please go to the doctor.
My grandma.
And don't judge by, oh, this guy look fit. He's healthy.
Tumor in the back of his head.
No.
Not too big.
Because none of you can see what's going on in his arteries.
Mm-hmm.
None of y'all can see what's going on with his blood or nothing. Don't let somebody looking muscle bound and supposedly in shape saying this person is healthy and fit.
Yeah.
You know, that's just, I have to bring it up because we just talking about health. Kevin Samuels, when you seen him, he wasn't nowhere near overweight.
Right.
Kevin Samuels was his right weight and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You seen Kevin Samuels, he looked very healthy. But clearly you know, Kevin was under a lot of stress. Yeah. I know that. Kevin wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
And also Kevin was drinking a lot of Red Bulls.
Yeah, he was.
When they say Red Bulls will give you wings, that's a true statement.
It's not good for you.
He was drinking way too many Red Bulls to say he was taking high blood pressure medication. You do not drink Red Bull if you're taking high blood pressure medication. That ups your heart rate.
Right.
There's been healthy people that have passed away from drinking Red Bull energy drinks. I don't want an energy drink. I don't even drink caffeine. If I drink coffee, it's decaf.
You're drinking horse urine.
You understand what I'm saying? So don't look at a person and say, oh, they look healthy. You don't know what's going on in a person's anything. Go to the doctor. Please, brothers. Women, you too. Go to the doctor, go to the gynecologist, go see your dentist, please. It's time to take care. It's called self-care, right?
Yep.
Some of us need therapy because we've been through a lot.
Yep.
Men, a lot of us need therapy. We really do.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk to nobody.
Yep.
It's okay to get therapy. You don't have to tell nobody you're getting therapy. Just go ahead on and get it.
Right.
And work on yourself. You'll be better as a better man. You'll be a better husband, a better father, a better worker, whatever. Get some therapy that you need. Because the women, they kind of therapy themselves because they got little groups they have and they got community. We don't. So brother, get some therapy. A lot of y'all men out here, black men in particular, are hurting. A lot of y'all got low self-esteem. I know this. I know. Some of the women you pick is because of your low self-esteem. Because trust me, if your self-esteem was up, you wouldn't pick some of the women you're picking.
Yeah, you're right, Uncle Phil.
Trust me on that.
I appreciate the advice, Uncle Phil. I'm going to end it here.
Yeah, like Natasha say, full panel blood test is the key.
So
you got to have that, right? Don't wait until you got brothers that's having strokes out here, and a lot of this stuff can be prevented. Go see your doctor. Sure, I made my doctor's appointment. I got it in another 2 weeks. I'll be going to the doctor.
I went to the doctor.
Right? Am I feeling bad? No, I'm not. but it doesn't mean I gotta wait till I feel bad. Because what happens is you go to the doctor because you're feeling bad, and then they find something wrong with you, and they're like, "Well, when did this start?" You're like, "Oh, this started about 2 years ago." Like, if you'd have came 2 years ago, we could have stopped this. But now look at what you know. So don't be that brother. Don't be that brother, please. We in the era of self-care, self-preservation, and enjoying our life.
That's right.
Man, to hell with America, to hell with all these other groups. Let them sort it out.
Right.
We just worrying about ourselves right now.
Right.
We done enough for America. We done enough. And you tell them other groups that we've done enough.
Yep, we have done enough of the field.
Oh, what about this happening? That ain't my problem.
Exactly.
I'm worried about myself, my community. I'm not getting stressed out for none of y'all.
In honor of Mac Dre.
Even this platform. I'm not gonna let this platform stress me out either.
Right.
If I need to take a break, I'll take a break.
Right. And that's what
if I want to go do Slay Queen, if I want to go do any kind of entertainment stuff just because I enjoy doing something different, I'm gonna do it. Don't be so turned up all the time that you get mad about anything different. Oh, why y'all doing that? Oh, why y'all like, calm down, man. You realize like you need to deprocess from that stuff? I don't want to hear about Republican and Democrat all the time. I don't want to hear about Congressional Black Caucus all the time.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about Jasmine Crockett all the time, or Kamala, or Trump. Sorry, it's more to light than that crap.
Right. Right. So.
It's fine to talk about it because we need to talk about these things, but there's a time to back away from that and say, hold on, man, let me do something different.
Right.
So you want to go to the Sexy Red concert and be ratchet with Sexy Red? Go be ratchet with Sexy Red, and then go ahead and go home. Right? Who cares? It's your business. You want to turn up in Vegas? Go turn up. Have a good time. Just don't commit sin and don't commit crime. But just go have a good time. It's okay.
Back is that.
We ain't got time for that field because we got the struggle. Man, forget the struggle. Go relax yourself. The struggle will be here when you get back. I promise you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, sometimes you got to take a break from the internet. Listen, I'm on the internet, but now all the time I'm watching news. It's more life than freaking news. Shoot, Raising Canaan that came back on. I got to go catch them episodes. Yeah, I like watching Raising Canaan. I don't want to hear nothing about no freaking politics.
Yeah.
I don't like shows even bringing politics. Listen, I'm so against politics coming and everything now.
Yeah.
I hate when somebody bring a political anything into a show.
Right.
I hate it now. Like, don't bring that political crap here. I just want to enjoy a show. You say you had to cuss a white woman out to say if she's talking about I'm African. Well, see, I wouldn't have got mad about that. I mean, you know what you are. I mean, don't even let them kind of people. You know, y'all understand? They love a reaction out of you. Yeah. They get they energy vampires. They love your anger. They love your sadness. They love reactions. They feed on that. You understand?
Yeah.
You can't give them what they want. I mean, okay, you say you're not African. Well, okay, you're not. And some people, like they said, you shouldn't even answer certain people. They're not worth a response.
Right.
Some people I wouldn't even react to. I just kind of laugh at you. Like, okay. I'm okay. I am okay. If I'm African, then what? Well, what are you saying? What is that? What is it about it? I mean, what am I beneath you or something because I'm African? If you're saying I'm African, like what? What is it? I just ask that kind of question. Like, why are you pointing that out? Like, what do you get out of that?
Right.
You know, but like I said, people do that to y'all. They don't do that to me. I've never had that experience. They don't mess with me like that. I can honestly say when white people engage me, they're mostly nice. I've not really had them just be crazy with me, like some of y'all. So I don't know what is it with some of y'all, but no, white people just don't mess with me like that. They really don't. So I'm not saying I'm walking around here being bad, like, oh, I wish you would. No, I'm a nice person. They just don't engage me like that. They just say hello or they be nice or whatever, and that's the end of it. But anyway, you say, okay, yeah, listen to your music on Spotify. Go to the gym. The gym is very therapeutic. Go to the gym. Yeah. You know, lift some weights. You know, do some cardio, something. You know, hit the heavy bag, whatever you want to do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the stream tonight. Really appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure
y'all do the same for Frontline Black News. Yeah, so That Latina needs to stop them lies. We have not been together since the civil rights movement. That's a goddamn lie. Like Dr. Claude Anderson said, we're gonna give him his flowers while he's still here. Them other groups, they use us for an American value, and then they abandon us in our time of need. And them days are over. We're not doing it no more, Black family. We're not keeping. The cape is off. The cape been off for 6 years, and it's gonna continue to be off until the support is reciprocated. And it doesn't look like that's gonna happen anytime soon. So the cape is off. We're not keeping for you other groups no more. So you wonder where the FBAs went? There's your answer. So stop these lies, Latinos, and acknowledge the colorism and the racism that exists in your own community before you try to come to us about we all minorities in the struggle and all that. No, y'all hold your own chalupa, hold your own nuts, and deal with your own problems. So moving along, we got did this other topic. Sister says that we need to start showing up. I did that. I started it off with that one. So the next one is Democratic Party now targeting Mayor Eric Adams after Trump tells DOJ to drop bribery charges. So they're still coming after Big E. Officer Eric Adams. Dun 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 dun. Where's the cue? Here we are. So again, Sister Demetria K is going to give us an update on this.
Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the app. Immerse yourself in a convenience and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
The House Judiciary Committee on the Democrats' side are turning against that of New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Now, they wrote a letter to the Department of Justice saying, wait a minute now, because Trump demanded that they drop charges on Eric Adams. Remember, last year he was accused of taking some favors from Turkey, receiving illegal campaign funds and a whole host of other things. Well, this is what the letter said in part. Last month, troubling reports emerged about the Trump administration's demand that federal prosecutors move to dismiss serious public corruption charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams as a part of a blatant and illegal quid pro quo to secure the mayor's loyal assistance in executing Trump's administration's mass arrest and deportation policies. Now, that was spearheaded by that of Jasmine Crockett and Jamie Raskin. Okay, great. They want to make sure that Mayor Eric Adams is not, doing something strange for the change and have those charges dropped. And let's keep it a buck, he probably is, right? Because they're saying, oh, now all of a sudden he's not agreeing with the sanctuary city and helping the illegal immigrants there in New York City. He's playing ball with Tom Homan and them. Well, of course he is. He ain't trying to go to jail for those people. But the other thing is, y'all were cool with Mayor Eric Adams until he started pressing the Biden administration, until he started saying, hey, y'all need to reimburse me for all this money I'm spending on the illegal migrants that's come over here under you guys' permission. Y'all didn't say nothing about that then. And then when he was spending all that money on the illegal migrants, y'all was cool. Y'all didn't say nothing. But now all of a sudden he asked Trump to do him a solid, let a brother off the hook. Y'all mad? Y'all acting like that's the first time some potential corruption that's taking place. I mean, I can't think of most people who wouldn't ask for a favor. I mean, the man was looking at going to jail, and all that other stuff. And of course, he wants to be mayor again, which I don't think he has a chance in hell to be that, but that's neither here nor there. But y'all acting like y'all always operate above board. Now, I don't know that you're not, but you're only mad at Eric because he's basically, maybe he's Team Trump now, but he's trying to save his own skin. Can't be mad at him for that. Now, all the other stuff he was doing, helping all the illegal migrants and stuff, yeah, y'all should have been mad at him then, but don't be mad at him now because he want to get himself out of trouble. That's silly. And it seems like y'all have other things to be doing besides going after Mayor Eric Adams. And listen, I'm not a fan of Mayor Eric Adams at all. But to waste time, that's not what people send you to office for. To make up stuff to do. Find something to do. Like shelve that HR 40 study of reparations and go and try to figure out a way to give Black Americans who are descendants of slavery a check. If you really want to be productive, I could just suggest. Anyway, y'all let me know what you think of that. And for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel.
And subscribe to Frontline Black News. All right. Yeah, so I agree with what Demetria K said. They only coming after Big E because he's told them, hey, stop coming here and reimburse me for all this money that I'm spending on these illegals. So I ain't even mad at Eric Adams for that. I'm mad that he turned his back on the Black people in New York City. And then when they brought them charges on him, then he want to start claiming, you know, they're coming after me because I'm a Black man. No, they're coming after you because you neglected the Black community in New York. And then when you got these charges put on you, you want to come to the Black people in New York for help. That's why people are mad at you, Eric Adams. You did all that kicking for the migrants. Tell them, come on in. We'll take you in the Big Apple. And then you did a whole about face. Went down to Columbia, said, hey, y'all need to stop coming here. Y'all need to stop coming to New York. And went down to the border, told them, hey, y'all need to stop coming to New York. New York is not the place you want to be. We put them illegals up in nice, fancy hotels while our Black unhoused neighbors, my term, I coined it, because I said they unhoused, but they're still part of the community. You did that. So, yeah, now you're trying to say you're behind to keep you from going to jail, because unlike Johnston and Johnson, you're not willing to go to jail for the illegal migrants, which I don't blame you, because that'd be really stupid, but we will see. I will keep y'all updated on what happens with Officer Eric Adams. So moving along, we got Ohio police threatening and arrest their brother over daughter's car. Daughter's stolen vehicle that was reported recovered.
You know, when it comes to Black people and the police, the relationship is just horrible. Not by our fault. It's by the fault of these police officers who are the folks who always come in hot. The brother is guilty before they even ask questions. They have their guns drawn. They're ready to either offload their gun on the brother or brutalize them, taser them. You know, no questions asked. They're guilty. They're falsely arrested. They're pulled over for no reason other than the stupid excuses that they say, which oftentimes it's made up. You look like somebody we're looking for. You fit the description of somebody that we're looking for that committed some crime. And oftentimes they don't even look anything like the person that they're actually looking for, if in fact it's true. In this case, we're talking about a situation in Westlake, Ohio, where a 19-year-old teenager had reported her vehicle stolen. But 2 days later, she reported the vehicle as recovered. Yet, they pulled up to her father's house. He was in the car with his daughter. And there they coming in hot. Take a look.
Your body camera on? Is your body camera on? Is your body camera on? No. Get out the car, hon. Come on. This is her car. And he's here in our house. Put your guns away. No. One of y'all come talk to me. One person. One person. One person talk to me. This is my house. This is her car at my house. You on private property. What is the address to? Where your address on your ID?
It's at my mom's house.
Please over here. Get the over here. Man, no. For what? I'll tell you in a minute. I said obstruction over here. You recording?
Yes, I am.
We throwing the out of them. Come to me.
But I'm not coming to you.
Why y'all got them guns like that? I'm not coming over
Listen,
with
you
this.
want to get hit with this? Get the
Listen,
turn
hey,
around. Turn around. Over. Turn around. Turn around. Under arrest.
Why? Okay, look, what are y'all doing?
Concerned, that is a stolen car, which is
Okay.
why we are doing what we are doing.
Okay,
If
but
he would have shut his mouth and cooperated and come over and talked to us like a civilized person instead of trying to run the show from his front porch, this wouldn't have happened
he's
this
done
way.
nothing wrong.
He has done something
What
wrong.
has
When
he
the
done
police
wrong?
tell you to do something, you listen, and then we sort it out when we make sure everything is safe.
Okay,
We
but
don't know
could've done
you.
that.
We don't know him.
And we don't know you. Just
We're
like
the
you're-
police. This is our
Exactly.
job.
But you're still a human being at the end of the day, and so is he, and so am I.
So then if you
Y'all
just
have
cooperate,
weapons pointed at us. Exactly. How are we supposed to not be afraid?
sure everything is safe,
But
then
when
we
I
have
got
this
out the car
conversation.
and all I seen was weapons pointed at me, I was scared. I understand the car was reported stolen. I understand all of that. I went to the police station 2 days to let them know that I have recovered the car.
And none of this would have happened this way.
Exactly.
If he would have just cooperated, walked over to us, explained calmly,
But you
that's
guys
my
were
daughter. And then
aggressive
when
just
we
like
tell
you said
you,
that.
and
He
then when
stood
stop
there and said,
talking,
that's my daughter. This is her house.
yeah, but we can't see you.
Okay.
So then we tell you to get out of the car, and you don't get out of the car. We
I
can't
didn't
see
hear
you.
you say that.
Well, that's why this happened.
Exactly.
This way.
I didn't hear you. I was scared. The first thing I did was call my father. I don't know. I don't deal with the police. I'm only 19 years old.
So, right,
And he said,
he would have been
this
fine.
is her car. This is her car. Y'all still have weapons pointed at us. I am terrified right now. Do you know what they do to black people?
De-escalation goes out the window. Basic human decency goes out the window. Questions asked goes out the window. Common decency goes out the window. Civil goes out the window. All of the things that they're supposed to do, they didn't do. Instead, guns are drawn at him, telling him, get the F over here, pointing the gun and saying, do you want me to pew pew you? And all of that because he is pushing back to say, what are you doing here? This vehicle is not stolen. This is my daughter, all of the things. But as you can hear one of the cops say, which is one of the folks when he was talking to his daughter, saying that he was trying to run the show. No, he wasn't trying to run the show. He's trying to stay safe. And he's trying to plead his case because that's what black men have to do. Otherwise, it doesn't end well for them. So oftentimes what's happening now is a lot of black men are like, I know my rights and I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to resist. Because even if they do the right thing and do as they're asked, it still doesn't end well for them. So at the very least, they're like, you know what? I'm going to exercise my rights. Ultimately, he ended up getting arrested anyway. And even though you can hear his daughter talking about it and saying, you had your guns pointed at us. I'm terrified. And one of the things I really picked up on is when she said to the cop, do you see what's happening to black people? And did you see his face? It was almost like he was like, oh, like, please don't bring that race card out. Yeah, we're going to bring it out because this is what y'all do. I guarantee you, if that was one of the folks, that is not how they would have been treated at all. It would have been a nice civil conversation. It would have been a knock at the door, not just pulling up in the driveway with your guns drawn. It would have been a knock at the door. It would have been, hey, sir, this vehicle was reported stolen. We just want to make sure everything's okay. That's how it would have went down. Unfortunately, that's just not the reality of black people.
Right.
So what we have to do is exactly what this brother did, which is expose them all, and they need to be sued because they did not do anything right. And he keeps trying to say, if he would have just did what we asked. No, he doesn't have to do what you're asked.
Right.
No, he doesn't. Because like I said, whether we do, whether we don't, we are damned. So it's better that we all are armed with understanding our rights and resisting and not telling them anything because we don't have to. It's called getting Mirandized first. It's called, you need to tell us why you're here. why you're pulling us over, why you're asking these questions. That's what has to happen first. So he did the right thing, but again, ultimately, his reality was he got arrested. What I would like to know is how this ended. So I will keep my eye on this and see how this unfolded, but I really hope and pray that he files a lawsuit against these officers. Let me know what you all think about this. Don't forget to like, subscribe.
I agree with everything.
I was doing spirituals at the time, too. All right, what caused you at that point in your career of 57 to turn to this?
I agree with everything the sister from African Diaspora News Network said, Amina. I agree with everything you said. But like Millie Fuller said, don't fuss, don't fight, don't flee. And this dad, he actually did fuss. He did attempt to fight them, but he didn't flee. So we have to recognize our status in this country. We are prisoners of war, and we are at war, and we have to act accordingly if we want to get through the next day. Unfortunately, that's our reality. And as long as this global system of racism and white supremacy exists, that's our reality. And Millie Fuller Jr. told us, don't fuss, don't fight, and don't flee. So with that, I mean, he was trying to protect his daughter. We understand that. Anybody that's a parent definitely understands that. And he ended up getting arrested as a result, right, for a stolen car, a supposed stolen car that belonged to his daughter. You just can't make this stuff up. But just know that we're at war. So anytime you have an interaction with them people, just know you're behind enemy lines, and you're at war. You are a prisoner of war, and they're going to treat you as such. So try to limit any kind of interaction, any kind of involvement with them folks, period. And know if you do have interaction with them, it could turn out like this or even worse. So moving along, we got Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke, who was unalived before his time. He was a famous artist who did a lot of stuff during the civil rights movement and ended up trying to warn Malcolm X before his untimely passing and murder that he needs to slow his roll, and Sam Cooke paid for it. So we did cover this a couple days ago, but I had passed out again, so I'm going to go back over it again. I wish the people that were tuning in then were tuning in now, but they'll catch it on the playback. But how Sam Cooke tried to warn Malcolm X and paid for it.
This kind of singing.
My economic situation.
Celebrities, and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
Darling, you send me.
Sam Cooke was more than just a great singer. He was a man who believed in change. He saw the struggles of Black people and wanted to make a difference. But what most people don't know is that Sam had a close-knitted friendship with Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali.
Hey, the game's all here. Join in the fun. Hey, the game's all here. We're gonna swing as one.
Malcolm X felt Sam was not radical enough with his music, and that made him criticize Cooke. Many believe Sam Cooke tried to warn Malcolm X about the dangers ahead, but speaking the truth came with a price. Let's delve in.
She claimed she didn't know who he was, which is a stone-ass lie. Everybody knew Sam, especially that side of town.
Sam Cooke was one of the first Black artists to find big success in America. At a time when Black singers had trouble getting played on the radio or making money from their music, Cooke broke barriers. He had a smooth voice, and his songs were loved by many.
Sam Cooke was my kind of person because he was interested quietly in Black history.
Hits like You Send Me and Cupid made him a household name. But Cooke wanted more than just fame. He wanted control over his own music. He did not want record labels to take most of his earnings, so he decided to start his own record company. This was a big deal because few black artists had that kind of power in the music industry. Starting his own label gave Cooke the freedom to make the music he wanted. It also allowed him to help other black musicians.
I was doing spirituals at the time, too.
All right, what caused you at that point in your career of 57 to turn to this kind of singing?
My economic situation.
He signed and promoted new artists, giving them a chance to succeed. Many of them would not have had opportunities without Cooke's help. At that time, record companies often took advantage of black singers. Cooke wanted to change that. Cooke was also involved in the civil rights movement. He wanted equal rights for black people in America. He used his success to speak out against racism. He was friends with Malcolm X, Jim Brown, and Muhammad Ali. These men were also fighting for black rights in different ways.
When black people were being discriminated against, that was the nature of the country at that particular time.
Malcolm X was a strong voice against racial injustice. Jim Brown was a famous football player who wanted better opportunities for black athletes. Muhammad Ali, who was still known as Cassius Clay at the time, had just won the World Heavyweight Boxing Championship. They all had big ideas about how to improve life for black Americans. One important night in 1964, these four men gathered at a hotel in Miami. Cassius Clay had just shocked the world by beating Sonny Liston to become the boxing champion. He was only 22 years old, and his victory was a huge moment in sports history.
I told the world, I talk to God every day. If God's with me, can't nobody be against me. I took out the world.
After the fight, he, Cooke, Malcolm X, and Jim Brown met in a hotel room. What they talked about remains a mystery. Some say they discussed civil rights. Others believe they just celebrated Clay's win. Years later, a play and a movie called One Night in Miami imagined what that night was like. The country was going through a lot of change at the time. Just 3 months earlier, President John F. Kennedy had been assassinated.
John F. Kennedy died at approximately 1 o'clock Central Standard Time today here in Dallas.
Before that, a church bombing in Alabama had killed 4 young black girls. The fight for civil rights was becoming more intense. People were demanding change, but racism was still strong. A few months after this night in Miami, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was passed, making it illegal to discriminate based on race. Even though Cooke was active in the civil rights movement, Malcolm X criticized him. He felt Cooke should sing more songs about racial injustice instead of love songs.
I love you, 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 I love you.
Malcolm believed that music was a powerful tool for change. He wanted Cooke to use his platform to fight racism more openly. Cooke believed that success in the mainstream music industry was already a form of protest. By becoming a major star, he showed that black artists could achieve great things. He also helped open doors for others.
These are puppets that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. These are parrots that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals.
But Cooke was not completely silent on racial issues. Before their meeting in Miami, he had already written "A Change Is Gonna Come," a song that would become a major anthem for the civil rights movement.
But I know a change gonna come.
The song talked about the struggles black people faced and their hope for a better future. He performed it on television, but his performance was overshadowed by the Beatles appearing on another show around the same time. 6 weeks after their meeting, Malcolm X left the Nation of Islam, the religious group he had been part of for many years. He and Muhammad Ali also had a falling out. Ali stayed with the Nation of Islam and turned his back on Malcolm. They never spoke again. Jim Brown, who was part of the famous meeting in Miami, continued his career in football. The movie One Night in Miami makes it seem like he retired from football soon after that night, but that is not true.
And now here come Cassius, the exact contrast of everything that was representative of the Negro image. He said he was the greatest. All of the odds were against him. He upset the odds makers. He won.
Malcolm X and anybody else who attacks or talks about attacking Elijah Muhammad will die. No man can oppose the message of Almighty God verbally or physically and get away with it.
He played for 2 more seasons and even won a championship. In 1966, he left football to focus on acting. He became one of the first black actors to have leading roles in Hollywood with his most famous movie, which was 100 Rifles. Muhammad Ali went on to become one of the greatest boxers of all time. He also became a major figure in the fight for black rights. He refused to go to war in Vietnam, saying he would not fight for a country that treated black people unfairly. Malcolm X continued his activism, but was assassinated in 1965. His death was another major blow to the fight for civil rights, which we would talk about more shortly. But now, let's delve into the civil rights anthem Sam created.
Sam Cooke was my kind of person because he was interested quietly in black history.
So Sam wanted to do something different. He saw what was happening in America, especially with the civil rights movement, and felt the need to speak up. He was inspired by Bob Dylan's song, Blowin' in the Wind, and wanted to create a song that would touch people's hearts and inspire them to fight for change.
That song affects me more than any song that he ever recorded.
In 1963, Cooke and his band were turned away from a whites-only motel in Louisiana. He felt humiliated and angry. That moment stayed with him. He realized that, as a black man, he was treated unfairly, no matter how famous he was. He wanted to express those feelings in a song. He sat down and wrote lyrics about the struggles of black people and their hope for a better future. His words were powerful, describing the pain of being treated unfairly, but also holding on to hope that things would change.
But I know a change gonna come.
The song was different from Cooke's usual music. Before this, he was known for lighthearted, romantic songs. His fans loved his smooth voice and happy melodies. But A Change Is Gonna Come was deeper. When Cooke recorded the song, he poured his heart into it. The music was powerful, and his voice carried deep emotion. The first time he played it for his friend Bobby Womack, Womack told him, "It sounds like death." The song had a sad and serious tone, but Cooke knew it was important. He believed it could inspire people to keep fighting for their rights. He only performed it live once because the emotions were so strong.
He was telling me the story. He said, I was born by the river, and there's a weight in a little old tent. He's painting this picture. Oh, and just like the river I've been running ever since.
Sadly, Cooke never got to see the full impact of his song. Just weeks before it was released, he was shot and killed in a Los Angeles motel. He was only 33 years old. His death shocked the world. Years later, in 2008, when Barack Obama won the presidential election, he referenced the song in his victory speech. He said, "It's been a long time coming, but tonight, change has come to America." This moment proved that Cooke's message was still alive and meaningful.
It's been a long time coming, but tonight, because of what we did on this day, in this election, at this defining moment, change has come to America.
Sam grew up in a church where his father was a preacher. Cooke and his brothers and sisters had a gospel singing group called the Singing Children. By the time he was 14, he joined another gospel group called the Highway QCs. While singing in gospel, he met Lou Rawls, who was also a young gospel singer at the time. They became friends and would later work together in the music business. Cooke became famous when he joined a gospel group called the Soul Stirrers. This was a very popular group that already had many fans. He replaced their lead singer and quickly became the main attraction. His smooth voice and charm made young people, especially girls, rush to see him sing. Some of the famous gospel songs he recorded with the group included Jesus Gave Me Water and Peace in the Valley. He even wrote some songs for the group. Cooke was helping gospel music reach younger people who had never been interested before.
Jesus gave a water. Jesus gave a water.
Even though gospel music was his first love, Cooke started to see that pop music had a much bigger audience. He wanted to reach more people and make more money. But there was a big problem. At that time, gospel singers were not supposed to sing pop music. Many church people saw pop as worldly and wrong. To avoid problems, Cooke released his first pop song under a fake name, Dale Cooke. However, everyone still knew it was him because of his unique voice.
I wondered if I could do the same thing. I wondered if I could be as successful singing secular music as gospel.
His record company was not happy with the music he was making. They expected him to sing in a fast and exciting style like Little Richard. But Cooke had his own style. He liked soft, romantic songs. This led to a disagreement, and he left the company. He wanted full control over his music and career.
Darling, you send me.
In 1957, he signed with a new company and released You Send Me. The song became a huge hit, reaching #1 on the pop charts. Suddenly, he went from making $200 a week to over $5,000 a week. This success made him a national star. He started performing on TV and in concerts across the country. He was one of the few black singers at the time who had both black and white fans. Over the next few years, Cooke had many hit songs, including Cupid, Chain Gang,
Working on the chain gang.
Wonderful World, and Twistin' the Night Away. He knew that success was not just about singing, it was also about business. He also helped young artists get started, including Bobby Womack and Johnny Taylor. Sam's business deals, especially with his manager, didn't come without controversy. He partnered with Alan Klein, a manager known for renegotiating contracts with big music companies. Klein helped Sam sign a new deal with RCA Records.
He wrote a lot of it. And I'm going to talk about that in my book. I've got a book.
However, the deal came with some criticism. In 1963, Sam signed a 5-year contract with Klein to manage his record label, SAR Records, and his publishing company, Kegs Music. Klein negotiated a deal with RCA Victor, where a company called Tracy Lientai, owned by Klein and managed by J.W. Alexander, would produce and own Sam's recordings. In return, RCA would handle the distribution and give Sam a royalty on each record sold. The deal seemed good for Sam, but it also meant that he had to give up some of his creative and financial control, as earlier mentioned. Cooke continued his music career, but tragedy struck in December 1964. In the early morning hours, guests at the Hacienda Motel in Los Angeles heard gunshots. But gun violence was common in that area, so they didn't think much of it. Even the police were not surprised when they arrived. They found Sam Cooke.
Sam had received a phone call that brought him to that motel with the girl.
Many could not believe that a man with such a beautiful voice had died in such a horrible way. Earlier that evening, Sam had gone to dinner at a restaurant called Martoni's. It was a popular place where many musicians and celebrities gathered. He was there with his friend and producer Al Schmidt and Schmidt's wife. Sam was in a good mood, talking with friends and showing off a large amount of cash, about $5,000. He had earned this money from recent concerts.
He was making money and he was making the headway and he was making it without them.
At some point, Sam started talking to a young woman named Elisa Boyer. She was 22 years old. Later, Sam and Elisa left the restaurant together. Sam told Schmidt that he would meet him later at a nightclub, but he never arrived. Sam was married to Barbara Campbell, who was at home with their 2 children. But that night, he checked into the Hacienda Motel with Elisa, signing the register as husband and wife.
She claimed she didn't know who he was, which is a stone-ass lie. Everybody knew Sam, especially that side of town.
What happened next is unclear. Elisa later told the police that Sam forced her into the motel room. She claimed he pinned her down and tore her clothes. She said she was afraid he was going to hurt her. While Sam was in the bathroom, she grabbed her clothes, and his too, including his wallet and money, and ran out. She called the police from a nearby phone booth, saying she had been kidnapped.
And this prostitute, I think that they got paid off and were in cahoots with somebody.
When Sam came out of the bathroom and saw that Elisa was gone, he became very angry. He was wearing only a sport coat. He went to the motel manager, Brotha Franklin, demanding to know where Elisa was. Franklin later said that Sam broke down her door and grabbed her arms. She claimed that he was aggressive and that she had to fight back. She said she kicked and bit him to protect herself.
She said Sam came to her door with only a jacket on.
Franklin said that Sam would not stop, so she grabbed a gun and shot him 3 times. 2 bullets missed, but 1 hit him in the heart and lungs, killing him. The police ruled his death as justifiable homicide, meaning Franklin was not charged with a crime. But many people did not believe this story. People who knew Sam said he was not a violent man. Some believed he was tricked and set up. The Hacienda Motel was known for crime and prostitution. Some think Elisa Boyer led him there on purpose to rob him. He had $5,000 that night, but the money was never found. Later, Boyer was arrested for prostitution. In 1979, she was even convicted of murder in another case.
This woman at the hotel or motel who had murdered people before there always had gotten off.
There are many unanswered questions about Sam's death. Some say the gun Franklin used did not match the one registered to her. The bullet from Sam's body also went missing from police evidence. When the autopsy was done, doctors found a large bump on his head. Franklin said she beat him with a wooden broomstick after shooting him. But some people question this. If she was scared for her life, why would she drop a loaded gun and use a stick instead?
Which is a stone-ass lie. Everybody knew Sam.
There's also something strange about Franklin's story. She said she fought Sam, but when she appeared on TV 5 days later, she had no injuries. If there was a violent struggle, wouldn't she have bruises? Also, guests at the motel said they didn't hear gunshots or a fight. This is strange because Franklin was on the phone with the motel owner at the time. The owner said they heard parts of the struggle.
How do you resolve this mystery?
Crime scene photos showed cuts and bruises on Sam's body. Singer Etta James saw his body at the funeral. She later wrote in her book that his injuries were much worse than reported. She said his head was almost separated from his shoulders and his hands were broken. She did not believe Franklin's story. She said no woman with a broomstick could cause that kind of damage to a strong man like Sam. Some people believe Sam was killed somewhere else, and his body was brought to the motel later. Others think a third person was involved. One name that comes up often is Alan Klein, Sam's business manager. Klein had a reputation for being ruthless. Some believe he may have wanted control over Sam's money.
It ended up that Alan Klein actually owned Tracy, whereas Sam didn't, and Sam was under the impression that he owned her.
Another big issue is how the police handled the case. The Los Angeles Police Department closed the investigation quickly. Many people felt they did not care about finding the truth. Sam's friend Muhammad Ali said that if Sam had been a famous white artist, like Frank Sinatra, the FBI would have investigated. Norman Edelin, one of the few black police officers in Los Angeles at the time, believed racism played a role. He said the police saw Sam's death as just another black man being killed in a motel. They did not treat it as an important case.
During the funeral, Johnny Morissette, who was on the label, kept crying. He was like this. I'm sorry, Sam. I'm sorry, Sam. I'm sorry, Sam. Kept saying this.
Some even believe the FBI might have been involved. At the time, the FBI, led by J. Edgar Hoover, was watching many black leaders and celebrities. Sam was friends with Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X, both of whom were under FBI surveillance. Some think this connection may have made Sam a target. Talking about Malcolm X, he was murdered 2 months after Sam Cooke's death. He knew his life was in danger. He had told people that members of the Nation of Islam wanted to kill him. He had left the group and was speaking out against them. On the day he died, he was getting ready to speak to a crowd in New York City.
Apparently, 2 men approached the speaker's rostrum and discharged shots at him from apparently very close range.
As he stood on stage, someone in the audience yelled something to cause a distraction. When Malcolm X and his security looked in that direction, a man ran up and shot him in the chest with a shotgun. Then, 2 more men rushed forward and fired more shots at him. He was taken to the hospital, but the doctors could not save him. He had been shot 21 times in different parts of his body. He was pronounced dead a short time later. People were shocked and heartbroken. Malcolm X had been a strong and powerful voice for black people, and now he was gone.
He sustained 1 shot in the lower right chin, and the other 6 hit him in the chest and body.
One of the shooters, a man named Talmadge Hayer, was caught at the scene. The crowd attacked him before the police arrived. Later, 2 other men, Norman 3X Butler and Thomas 15X Johnson, were also arrested. All 3 were members of the Nation of Islam, and they were convicted of murder and sent to prison for life. After spending many years behind bars, Butler and Johnson were released. Butler changed his name to Muhammad Abdul Aziz, and later became the leader of a mosque in Harlem. Johnson, who had left the Nation of Islam and converted to Sunni Islam, also continued to insist he was innocent. He died in 2009. Hayer, who also converted to Sunni Islam, was released from prison in 2010.
2 men who were wrongly convicted and jailed for decades for assassinating Malcolm X in 1965.
In 2021, new evidence came to light. Investigators found that the police and the FBI had hidden important information that could have proven Butler and Johnson were not involved. Their convictions were overturned, meaning they were officially cleared of the crime. Later, Aziz sued the city for wrongful imprisonment. He had spent years in prison for something he did not do. A biography about Malcolm X, written by Les Payne and Tamara Payne, revealed more details about the killers. It named different men from the Newark Mosque as the real shooters. One of them, William Bradley, was the one who fired the first shotgun blast. But these men were never brought to justice.
Before we get to the Caucasoids and next funky ways, I think they did set him up to get killed. Because like I said, he was going after his royalties, he was going after his masters. And at that time, that was unheard of. So he was a trailblazer in a lot of ways. And like I said, put a lot of people on too. So RIP to Sam Cooke. Gone, but definitely not forgotten. Your music still lives on to this day, and your legacy still lives on to this day. And they thought by killing you that they was going to stop the movement, but the movement continued on. So shout out to you for that. And moving along, these Caucasoids in their disgusting ways. Now, you know, the Moors had to civilize them for 800 years. Apparently, they forgot about that. So now they back to not showering and bathing like they were during the medieval ages. What's it called? The Dark Ages. They're back to the Black Plague times of not washing and cleansing your body. So still in 2025, they still refuse to use soap and water and clean their spunky asses. They still continue. So this next clip is about them and their horrible hygienic ways or lack thereof. No Shame and They Stank is what it's titled. I think this is Mad Black TV, the most toxic, most dangerous black man on the internet. He's gonna give us an update on that.
The funk of 40,000 years.
Give me some air. Open up the window, man. Too funky. Say it. Give me some air. Too funky and terrifying. Give me some air.
What's good, everybody? It's your brother, Mad Blacc, the most dangerous and the most toxic black man on the internet. And I am black up in your face again with some more pro-black commentary. I found an interesting compilation that's been spread around on Instagram and TikTok. And it's basically is a compilation of different Caucasian people talking about either how they don't use washcloths or how they just don't wash at all, right? And I wanted to do a reaction to it because, you know, if I just talk about this sort of stuff, then people assume that I'm just making it up or, you know, that I've created something out of my head. So I want to make sure that you see it and hear it right from the horse's mouth, right? And, you know, you heard the intro, so you know what's coming. And we're going to look through this compilation here and see what these folks are talking about. And there's one part that I actually did a commentary on already. And I talked about, it was like a compilation or it's a video of a woman talking about how she doesn't force her kids to wash up or take baths or whatever, but it's only a short section in this compilation. So let's turn it on, make sure my volume is good, and we're going to watch it, and I'll give my commentary as we go on, okay? So let's start. You remember this classic skit from the Chappelle Show, and that's how it starts out. So let's watch it here.
Washcloths. Did you know that?
I agree. I think the washcloth is a poor person thing. Because
I've only met poors who use them. I've never met.
Wait, but is it also European? Because I have European friends that do it as well.
Maybe they're poor. I don't know.
I don't know. But we never did in my house. There was no time for that.
No. I've ended friendships when I saw washcloths. I'm serious. I don't want that stink on me, that like poor stink.
Yeah. But I don't understand. I guess it is just so that you don't have to touch your hands to your genitals.
We don't have that much soap to go around.
So this is the comedian, I think his name is Tom Segura, and I think that's his lady, but she's also the co-host of his podcast, and they're talking about how they don't use washcloths, right? And apparently, just like we've heard, they just use the raw bar of soap, or they just use their hands and clean themselves that way. And that includes their genital areas, underarms, and everywhere else where bacteria forms. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's something that is just opposite of how I was raised and opposite of how I know a lot of you were raised when it comes to keeping yourself clean. That way. Let's keep on watching.
Do you use a washcloth? No, me either. I think disgusting. Am I scrubbing my body with a washcloth? Yeah. Absolutely not. I know. I think we're a UTI waiting to happen. I think we're in the minority. I really do. No, I think we are.
Just look, you see the shock on her face when she found out that it's only her and her people who don't use washcloths. and basically she's saying that she's worried about getting an infection from using a washcloth, which I don't get that part of it. You're not using the same washcloth for your backside and your front parts. You use different washcloths, or once you're done with that washcloth, you do it the right way, do it front to back, and then you wash that washcloth. It's not that hard.
Right.
It's not that hard at all. I don't know where these people are getting some of this stuff from, but let's keep on watching.
People use washcloths? I think so. Like for their body? Yeah. What do you mean? Like, what are you washing your butt with? My hand.
She uses her bare hands to wash her butt. And some of you guys, you just love you some Beckys, boy. You love you some Beckys and some Chloes. And they use their bare hands to wash their behind. And then they're going to go in the kitchen and make your food. I guess that's why they don't need any spice. They got some spice coming from their backside that they're putting on your food, right? So that's for you, some of you male swirlers out there. You guys get to see this up front, and you don't think that I'm making it up. Let's watch some more.
Like, what? I would never. Would never do that. I would burn the wash.
She said she would burn the washcloth if she washed her behind with it. The washcloth would just disintegrate. So she thinks using her hands is the better option. Now this is another video where a woman talks about how she keeps herself clean, and or what she decides to clean. Let's watch this one.
First thing you wash.
Okay, I definitely go hair first.
Hair first?
Hair first.
Do you wash your hair every time?
Well, I only take like one shower every 6 days, so.
So you start with hair.
Start with hair.
And then
one shower every 6 days. Good God Almighty.
Then I'll normally do conditioner and then face wash. Then I get out.
Wash her hair and her face. That's it, and just gets out of the shower. Now you can imagine how she smells all the time, and only taking a shower every 6 days. Good God. Let's keep on watching.
She's in there just.
All right, here's my question. Do you use a washcloth in the shower?
No.
What do you use? A loofah? I made the conscious decision to stop washing my hands. I think when I was in college. Was it college for you? I don't know. That's when I.
So we had one woman. So one Becky already said she washes her butt with her bare hands, and now you got another woman, another Becky, and her friend saying they made a conscious decision not to wash their hands. So now they're washing up with their hands in the bathroom and not washing their hands. I tell you, folks, and like I said, y'all just love them so much. Hilarious. Let's keep on watching.
Because one of my good friends from college also doesn't wash her hands, and it was like, we had that bonding experience. One day I was like, I'm just not gonna wash them. She was like, I'm not either. I don't wash my hands. I don't really trust people that wash their hands because, well, one, I don't think it does anything to actually wash. It doesn't do anything to actually wash them. I do wash if I go number 2. They didn't used to wash them back in like way back in the day when they didn't have, and you would go to the bathroom out in the outhouse. Nobody washed their hands then, and there was less diseases.
No, that's not true, Becky. That's not true. You might not have heard as many diseases because the people were dying from not cleaning their hands, right? They would not clean their hands, and it would transfer to their food, and these people would just die from either like some sort of food poisoning or, dysentery or whatever other disease that they caught from you and your buddies not washing their hands. So this is why they all had such a hard time during COVID, right? Because during COVID, they were told they had to distance, they had to keep their hands clean, that they had to wear a mask, and people were mandating that they act right, and they didn't want to do it. They would rather have civilization go into another dark age before they decide to keep clean. Let's keep on watching.
My roommate told me I'll have to turn the water on because I'm like, I don't want them to think I'm disgusting. I'll text. I'll turn the water on and take a text break and be like, when you're at work and someone that goes into the stall, you're like, well, I guess I'll fake wash my hands now. We're always in the bathroom with Kate, and I'm always like.
So even if you're caught by somebody not washing your hands, you won't even wash your hands for real. they'll pretend to wash their hands. They'll go texting or just turn the water on to make the noise. Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
We also don't shower. My children probably bathe maybe once a week.
Yeah,
Can you talk maybe and they don't use Michael's a fourth Japanese. He thinks they have to bathe every day. Can you
One time we had somebody on and they were talking about this, and when the clip went viral and they said we were abusing people, I was like,
oh Lord.
They said something about privilege too. I was like, what? I didn't know how that works.
Said that I did delayed bathing with both my kids.
After they were born.
That's because why would you need to? Why are they dirty? Talk to us about how you only bathe your kids once a week. I want to know more about that. Well, first off, I just let my kids do what they want to do. I have 4 children. I'm not going to fight with my kids over little stupid things like bathing. Agreed.
What's the age gap again?
Almost 10, 7, 5, and 2. Woo, you're in it.
Yeah.
So you don't make them bathe every day. You'll just do when they want to once a week. If it's once a week, like now.
So you got your kids, you're funky and your kids are funky. You don't even make sure your kids wash up. You don't even want your own children to be clean. And then we wonder why when we send our kids to school with these people, our kids come home sick, right? Or our kids catch something. I tell you, folks.
So they swim. We have a pool and they swim in the summer. So I guess we call that bathing. So it's probably even less than that, but.
Pool is not bathing. Your kids getting in fact, that makes things worse with the chemicals from the pool.
Getting in the pool.
Let's keep on going.
We tell it our kids have autonomy over their bodies and their rooms, assuming, and they can make all the choices around that, assuming they're safe.
We avoid bathing, but we bathe very rarely.
Oh my God, I'm so happy that you're talking about this.
Yeah.
She didn't have a bath.
Yeah, we didn't bathe her for the first whole part of her childhood. And now we basically bathe her as she asks for it because it's fun, or she's exceptionally dirty.
We really wanted.
We didn't bathe our child for the first part of her life. Good God Almighty! So that's how they train their kids. No bathing whatsoever. Just let the kids run around and be stinky. Good God.
Keep her skin microbiome as healthy and intact, even if it's just rinsing with water. Our water has chlorine in it and all kinds of other preservatives and different chemicals that I just didn't want to expose her to.
This show and being married to my wife has opened me up to so many more thought processes like this, because I think so many of us are conditioned. But if you really strip it down and think about it, obviously we lived this way naturally for a very long time. I think you put up the commercial.
And people died during those times. That's why life expectancy wasn't that long, because you people were not clean. Good God, they don't teach this stuff. I know all they teach is they want to teach European history. They just skip over the Dark Ages. They skip over the plague. They skip over early colonization, where lots of colonials were dying off as soon as they got here from all the diseases and stuff. Now I know why a lot of these little kids walk around smelling like ravioli and whatnot, because they don't wash. Their parents don't encourage washing. They don't encourage bath time or shower time or anything. This is ridiculous. So let's keep on watching and see where this goes. How many of these other folks will admit on camera to being funky?
Constraints and people change their behavior. So it's like coming back to a more primal way of life.
Now that you guys are saying this, that makes a lot of sense to just let it be. And I feel like as a mother too, you have intuition to know when they need a bath.
Do you wash your legs in the shower?
No.
I do it if I have plans. Maybe I need to work on
the bathrobe, and here is a towel and a washcloth. Why would I need a washcloth?
I do remember this scene going viral not too long ago, where this show was basically showcasing that, the difference between blacks and whites and how they wash. Let's keep on watching it.
To wash yourself with. It's in the name. Washcloth. I just take the soap and rub it on my body. That's nasty. I mean, you're getting the soap all dirty. Soap can't get dirty. It's soap. Wait a minute, do white people not use washcloths? I don't know any who do. Do black people use washcloths? I don't know any who don't. Really? Who knew?
I learned it. So yeah, so that's the compilation, folks. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Well, I guess I shouldn't say enjoy, but you got the point. So it's not just Mad Blacc telling you what these folks do behind closed doors. You got to see it for yourself. You got to see several of them say it, and you got to see what I'm talking about when I talk about these things and why I play that particular intro song when I talk about these topics. Anyway, Mad Blacc, and I will be back with my foot on a devil's back.
Yeah, having lived with them mugs, they are nasty as hell, Black family. Oh my Lord, have mercy. You lucky if they bathe once a week, let alone once a month. They are very disgusting. And I used to just shake my head at them like, damn, how you not bathe like every day or every other day? You bathe once a week or once a month. And you don't even do it properly. Like, what the fuck? Definitely different. We are definitely different. That's damn sure. It's not raised like this at all. So shout out to Mad Blacc TV for reminding us of how nasty these folks are and disgusting they are. Exactly, twin. Disgusting. Disgusting. I've seen it in my life, real life during college. Yep. Me too. Me too. How many times have you been in the bathroom and a motherfucker come out the stall after taking a shit and they just walk right out? They don't wash their hands, nothing. They walk right out. And then they want to shake your hand, talking about, hey, no. Ugh. After shaking their hands, you got to wash your hands. Like, immediately after. Otherwise, you don't get disease. That's why they was dying out. They couldn't do it on their own. The first early colonies, the motherfuckers was dying out because they refused to bathe. Like they said, the Aboriginals could smell them miles away. They knew that they was coming because you could smell the funk in the air. The equivalent of what? 15 city blocks. Yeah, then smoke joint with other people. Yeah, them people was nasty as hell. They don't brush their teeth. They don't wash their ass. They're just disgusting. I think that's civilized. Nothing they do is civilized. It's the most uncivil, savages, barbarians in the history of the world. Unwashed hands. That's why they was having such a hard time during the pandemic. Because they couldn't. For us, that was our daily routine of washing our hands, brushing our teeth, washing our ass. You know, especially if we're gonna be out in public. But these people don't give a fuck. They go out in public. They serve you food. They want to lay down with you. They're nasty as hell. The nastier, the more aggressive they are. These people are crazy as hell. Like, we had to civilize them once. Apparently, we still got to keep civilizing them in 2025 because they don't believe in bathing. They don't believe in washing their ass, brushing their teeth, washing their hair, none of that. That's why lice and all kinds of shit was still running rampant in their communities. And they go for weeks at a time without bathing. Weeks, months, sometimes even years. Especially the ones that's unhoused, they'll go years without bathing. They have layers and layers of dirt just piled on them. And when they get in the tub or shower, that whole motherfucker, you gotta clean that motherfucker immediately after. Because it's completely funkified, dirtied up. They don't believe in washing the tub either. These people was nasty as hell. I haven't lived with them, both in college and after college. Them people was nasty as hell. I would never do it again. Alright, so moving on. Because I got an appointment to get to here in a few hours. 10 years in prison. Christy Noem, who the dump appointed, says ICE raid leakers. So the people that was leaking where the ice raids were taking place. Like we covered some of that here with some of the people that we know out here in Denver and Aurora. Those people, they're saying that they're gonna be found and will face prosecution. All right, Shabak is calling me. Hold on, y'all. Shabaka, what's my headset?
What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make
sure. Shabaka. I'm live. Yeah. I know, Shabaka, I know. Yeah, I heard you. I went and listened to the playback. I had to scrap most of that. That was really bad. Lady, I was reading the comments. Lady Che was in there rolling, like snoring on camera and all that. But we gonna make it. So I just finished up about the Caucasoids and their funky, disgusting ways. Still in 2025. Yeah, he is one of those. He's like a snake oil salesman. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I covered the topics that I tried to cover previously. So I just finished up with them. We went over Sam Cooke again. Went over Ohio police arrest and threaten a brother over his daughter's supposed stolen car. Then we got yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I sent you the link, Shabaka, so you can join me in the studio at any time. Yeah. Well, the closer I get to 40, I'm starting to feel it. Nowhere close to where you're feeling it, but I'm starting to feel it. And I'm on this routine where no matter what time I go to sleep, I always wake up at like 6 o'clock. I wasn't like that when I was in my younger years. I was a night owl. I would, yeah. I hated getting up early. From childhood into adulthood, it's been recent, like real recent, like within the last 5 years. I'm become an early bird. Mm-hmm. I think so. I haven't used that in years. Let's see if I can pull that one up. But I'm about to move to one of the dumps appointees. She says she's gonna give anybody that leaked the ice raids. Like we had ice raids here in Colorado that were leaked by the media and activists, auditors, whatever. And now they're saying that they're going to be found and will face persecution. Some of these people I know directly, so that hits kind of close to home. Well, he's on a war path. He's determined to prove a point, and proving a point, he is succeeding. Oh, okay. Well, I invited her to the stream. I also invited Afro Elite. Twin is shouting you out. He said, shout out to Shabaka. Mac 285 is shouting you out as well. We do. We need somebody to take it. See, usually when Lady Che is out, she's the one that will continue the show. But yeah, I gotta go see her later after this damn crown. I'm getting the crown done today. No, it's about here. You just be getting. We were doing a back-to-back double header, and we shouldn't have did that. I thought I had it in me to do it, but the body said, "Nope, nigga, you going to sleep right now." And that's what I did. Right. Yep, it will get your mind. You will get your mind right. Yep. The mind want to do something different than what the body do. The body's like, look, I need rest, and I'm gonna get it one way or the other. So everybody do. Oh, we about to get paid off of this bullshit. That could be years from now. I'm talking about this shit with the hospital. Yeah, because we already warned them. We're like, we getting the news involved and everything. We are the news. No, it was so sudden, Shabaka. I wish I would have recorded it when it started. It was a straight shakedown, like we're searching the cell today. Yeah, tossing the cell. Well, I told Lady Che to do that, so hopefully she follows through with that. But I'll be there hopefully this afternoon, early evening, to look further into that, because that was ridiculous. They treated us like we had bombs or something, like we was about to blow the damn hospital up. Because we told the truth about their racist, stanky asses. Motherfuckers is racist as hell. I hate that fucking hospital. And then the black people they have, they're a bunch of fucking tethers. Chatters and coons. And then one of them, he gave me a Newport. One of the security guards. All while kicking me out. You have to leave the ground, sir. Right. Hold on, Shabaki, you holding the show up. I gotta continue the show because I got this appointment in a few hours. The link is in your email. I already sent you the link. Okay. Yeah, they damn near did, twin. Okay, Shabaki, see you shortly. Damn near followed you home. Yeah, they did. I had that shit on video. Y'all seen that shit? What just follow me? You got to go. So I went home. I'm not sticking around here. And y'all just gonna be acting like this all goddamn evening, the rest of the day and evening. Hell no. Because that shit happened like early afternoon. Woke up from a nap and, oh, you have to go. What? We're searching all your stuff. We got a report that there was weapons in the room. Blah, blah, blah. And then we don't want to do this, but then why are you doing it then? Oh, because we're following orders. Exactly. That's exactly what the Nazis said too. They were following orders. Yeah, they wouldn't even. No, hell no. They should at least pay for bus fare for that. Nope, they don't get no vouchers, no meal vouchers, no transportation vouchers, no none of that. Then the owner of the hospital's a fucking billionaire. A racist ass small hat billionaire. All right, so moving along, Christy Noem, she said she's going to lock up the ICE raid leakers and have them prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. So TD Media Group's going to give us an update on that.
Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and most importantly, please make sure you are following me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today, I have some really great news. This is some news that many of you all have been looking forward to hearing. A great way to start the weekend. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Christy Noem has finally identified the ICE leakers, right? Those who have been leaking out ICE raids within DHS, giving this information out to so-called anti-ICE, anti-mass deportation activists, putting the lives of ICE agents and multiple other federal agents, putting their lives at risk as they go out on these raids to bust criminals who are.
Thank you for joining us this morning, Grand Risings.
Yes, sir, most definitely. Greetings from Sin City. Okay.
Yeah, we were out Sin City with Sam Cooke and Holly Weird, and now we're on to, and then we talked about the Caucasoid's nasty, disgusting ways, and now we're on to 10 years in federal prison. Christy Noem, who the dump appointed, says ICE leakers found and will face prosecution. So anybody that was leaking where the ICE raids were going to be, they could face up to 10 years in prison.
Oh man, well then it sounds like them Supreme Kangaroo Court gonna be busy on that, man. Because a lot of this shit is illegal, number one, and number two is, man, ain't nobody got no balls to step up to it, but I don't blame them. You know what I'm saying?
Members of MS-13, Terrain de Aragua, 18th Street Gang, and a host of other cartels. These guys have finally been.
Yep, the infamous
18th Street.
Busted. And here is the news. I want to play this video first, and then we'll dissect some of what we hear moving forward. So let's jump into this video clip right now.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says that they have identified the leakers who exposed the locations of upcoming immigrations and custom enforcement raids. This is a big deal. And our Bill Malugin has got the details. Bill.
Yeah, John, good afternoon to you. Just a short time ago, DHS officials confirmed to Fox News, they say they have identified 2 people within DHS who they say they have caught leaking information about ICE operations to different targets and then put those operations in jeopardy. We got a video from DHS Secretary Kristi Noem herself making this announcement, was just sent over to us. Take a look.
Everyone, I wanted to give you a quick update. We have identified 2 leakers of information here at the Department of Homeland Security who have been telling individuals about our operations and putting law enforcement lives in jeopardy. We plan to prosecute these 2 individuals and hold them accountable for what they've done. And we're going to continue to do all that we can to keep America safe.
And a DHS spokesperson also sent us the following statement on record, which says, quote, "We are preparing to refer these perpetrators to the DOJ for felony prosecutions. These individuals face up to 10 years in federal prison. We will find and root out all leakers. They will face prison time, and we will get justice for the American people." Now, to that point, we do want to point out that this is just a referral. It is ultimately going to be up to the Department of Justice on whether or not they want to move forward with prosecutions of these alleged leakers. You have to keep in mind these individuals, whoever they are, will also have due process, and they would have to be either found guilty or put in a guilty plea if we want to talk about any sort of prison time. But guys, this is obviously very significant. You're looking at video from an ICE raid in Aurora, Colorado last month. I was on that operation. It failed. It leaked. There were media reports that the raid was coming days in advance. The same thing happened for an operation here in Los Angeles. Another operation in Virginia just leaked a few days ago. There was also another leak in Chicago. These leaks have been widespread. It has happened multiple times. They have seemed to be getting worse and worse. And
so we'll stop it right there. As he's saying, they were getting worse and worse because, as I covered here on this channel during one of my mass deportation live streams, some of you might know this, some of you might not, it had gotten to the point to where ICE officers in Los Angeles were getting doxxed. They were putting up posters all over Los Angeles, you know, little posters, you know, on trees and whatnot, where they would have a name, face, identification, phone number of the ICE officers that were conducting raids. They were doxing these guys, not just putting their lives at risk, but putting their families' lives at risk. Okay, so this should be an open and shut slam dunk case as far as I'm concerned. I don't believe that there's going to be any issue with Pam Bondi prosecuting these 2 individuals, but you have to really let this sit on your mind for a moment, right? As you all remember, when I covered the committee hearing on sanctuary cities, right? And I did a live stream on that. And I made it a point to highlight Nancy Mace's line of question. Within her line of questioning, when she was speaking to the sanctuary city mayors, she asked the most profound question throughout the entire 6-hour hearing. And the question that she asked was, do you hate Trump more than you love your country? Let me rephrase that. She said, do you hate President Trump more than you love your country? That was a very profound question because we all know the answer to that question. And the answer is yes, they do hate President Trump more than they love their country. Trump derangement syndrome is very real. And that's what you're seeing here with these leakers within the Department of Homeland Security. These weren't hackers that broke into the system. These were guys within the DHS. These were people that are supposed to be protecting the homeland, but instead are working to actively keep criminals on the street. Mind you, when they were releasing and leaking this information, these people weren't confused as to who ICE was going after. They knew that ICE wasn't going to your local Home Depot and just grabbing up any random individual.
Shit, not
They
last
knew
three Home
that
Depots.
ICE
You don't
was
see nobody
targeting
standing out there now.
dangerous, trained Anagua gang members, MS-13 gang members, 18th Street gang members, cartel members. They knew this. But the Trump derangement syndrome is so real, and these people hate President Trump so much more than they love their own country that they were willing to put that information out just so Trump can fail in his mass deportation efforts. How sick are these people? These people are truly sick and deranged. And I want to show you this article here, you know, as we begin to wrap things up a bit. You know, look at this here. These are the type of people that these lunatics within the DHS are trying to protect. Look at this here as we wrap this up, please. This is from Breitbart. Illegal alien charged with human trafficking. 16-year-old girl in Florida. These are the people that ICE is trying to get off the street, but these are also the same people that these two lunatics within the DHS were trying to keep free. As the article reads, I'm only going to read maybe the first 3 paragraphs. Jose Valerio Rodriguez, a 70-year-old illegal alien from Cuba, has been arrested and charged with human trafficking and violating a minor, right? Engaging in explicit activity with a minor. As a result, Valerio Rodriguez is now facing deportation from the United States. Last month, Flagler County Sheriff's deputies contacted the 16-year-old victim after she had been reported missing but had returned home. The girl told police she had been with Valerio Rodriguez, who was living in a tent behind a gas station, and that he explicitly assaulted her. These are the kind of people that ICE are going after. But these DHS lunatics, who are obviously DNC lunatics, are trying to protect. Once again, these are the bad guys that ICE is trying to take off the streets. Why anybody would interfere with that is beyond me, unless you are truly a deranged and sick individual. And it appears that within our government, we have a lot of truly deranged and sick individuals.
Man, you got deranged and sick individuals, man,
more
running
than they love their country.
So what is he talking about?
Unbelievable. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. Please hit the like button on your way out.
Don't share the link because I'm about to end this in like 20 minutes. Because I got a meeting at 10 o'clock.
Okay. So who do we got in the chat room?
We got just Twin, Mac, 285, and V.
All right, okay. Greetings, Mac 285 and what have you. You know what I'm saying? I'm on a late freight this morning, you know, because somebody fell asleep last night. So I ain't going to say no name, but somebody did.
Yeah, I did. I ain't going to lie, I did.
How are you doing today? I'm doing great, and how are you? That's good.
So this sister here, she's running against
against old girl to be the mayor of Dolton, Illinois.
Yeah, well, Tiffany lost.
You're
so
right.
This sister's running for that seat on the independent side.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully, man, more of these independent candidates will come in, man, as opposed to this donkey and what's the symbol of them with the donkey and the elephant? I think, yeah. Don't vote donkey, don't vote elephant, vote independent.
Yep, third party is the way to go.
All right, yeah, it is.
Candidate Casundra Hopson-Jordan sits down for one interview ahead of Dolton mayoral election.
Okay, in Dolton, Illinois. Okay. Wow.
And this will be the last topic because, like I said, I got a meeting right after this.
Oh, okay. All right, so should we do a StreamYard today or later on today for Shabaka's Black Experience?
No, we did Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Damn, man, forgive me, brother. Yeah, I'm forgetting what damn day of the week it is. You know what I mean? It's 48 degrees out here. It's mostly clear. and bones is aching. I need me some heat. Come on, 65 degrees and 70.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be in the 60s here today.
Yeah, you know. So this is what happens when you youngins can look forward to when you get old. Everything hurt from cold. Cold and old does not mix.
Yeah, that's why I usually go down south.
Yeah, like the birds do. I never forget. I was in Colorado one year, and about late September, man, I saw the whole sky full of birds flying south big time. It was ducks. Even had little baby ducks in the back, you know, trying to hang on, and they was moving. You know what I'm saying? And lo and behold, 2 days later, here comes snow. Yeah.
The animals know when the weather's supposed to change.
Yeah, I think they the best weather people than these clowns you got on the boob tube. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fucking up worldly.
Oh,
they have
God.
technology at their disposal, and they still be getting it wrong.
Okay, so let's see what Casundra Hopson-Jordan is talking about for being the mayor. And give me some of that money out of Cooke County.
Oh, let's talk.
What does this community mean to you?
This community means a lot to me. When I moved here, I met a lot of great people, built a really solid bond with the neighbors. And there were times that I could have easily.
Okay, I hear an accent already. Let it continue.
Left, but I stayed because I truly love the community and I love my neighbors. It's hard to get good neighbors. And when you got neighbors that's like family.
Hey, MG's in the building.
It's priceless.
Hey, MD, good morning to you, MD.
Community, the neighbors, the community feel, the family feel.
Yes.
Then the first thing you need to do,
I've been here
Madam
17
Mayor.
years now. Yes.
Okay, Trump also said he wouldn't pardon Derek
all
Shaw.
the other South Lake
All
communities
right.
of the city. What made you come to this location?
Well, how I came to this location, well, first through marriage. My husband, his mother, unfortunately, she passed away. She had was dealing with some health issues.
Mac, I must be one of the fools predicting the weather because I hurt like hell.
So we found
And
a
it's
home
only
here.
48
We moved her
degrees here.
in so we can care for her 24/7. But unfortunately, she had to go into a nursing home, and from there she transitioned. So we end up keeping the house. Yeah.
As well as you should.
Dolton's in the news a lot lately. When you hear the stories, when you hear about them, you see them, how does it make you feel?
It's really disappointing because we have been national news, not for a good thing. It's been a really bad negative thing. And speaking with the residents, talking with the people that live in the village, it's just been so draining. It's been like a nightmare that just won't go away. It's like no matter what you do, it's like I go to sleep, I wake up, and the problem is still here.
She got some busted
So
knuckles on that right
been a
hand.
nightmare.
Like she's a former fighter, boy. I don't know. She put a whole lot of people to sleep with that right hand.
They're being overshadowed by all the negative news.
Yes.
You think you can change that?
Most definitely. I have the personality. I have the wherewithal. Of course I can change it. I jumped in the race to change it. You know, we have to change the narrative. We don't want people to see us that we're just this community that's constantly suffering or living in poverty, because it's far from what the image that has been put out on the internet. You have a lot of working class people here. You have a lot of retired people here. Just on this block alone are working class people.
Sarge is
so
there.
To put that image out that the average person only makes like $25,000 or $20,000 a year is false. It is an excellent community with good people. We just need a change in leadership that's going to bring the morale back, that's going to build this community back up, make it a place that's happy for the people who live in it.
Lower your price on bribe money in Illinois politics.
You know what? I need to be in this race. I need to be. I'm that person. Did it take you long to figure that out? Did you say, you know what? I'm running.
Well, actually, some years ago, it just came to me, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to run for mayor. And to be honest, I was like, this is going to be either Dolton or Harvey. But I'm like, I'm here in Dolton. And then when all this stuff started to transition, something inside of me said, now is the time. If you don't get in here and fight for the people and fight for what's right, who else will do it? So this is why my head is in this ring, because I'm truly fighting for the people. I mean, I don't have any ulterior motive. I'm not looking for anything to gain. I will see a community that could be great. You know, I live here. I don't like having to go into other communities and taking my resources to them. I like to be able to go downtown and to shop at a store, or to shop at or go to a nail salon, or shop at the pet store, and keep those resources here in the village. You know, once you hit a certain age, you're like, hey, you know, it's all about comfort. And why can't we have this? And I shouldn't have to take my resources over to the neighboring suburb when I can have it right here. So I got in this race to build this community back up.
You're running on an independent party. What is the name of your party?
It's Rebuilding Dolton.
Rebuilding. Why did you choose to run as independent?
Because when I look at the Democratic and the Republican Party, when I do my research and I look at the characters of a lot of these politicians, I don't want any part of it.
Right.
You know, I'm a free thinker. I like to think on my own. I don't like to be boxed in. I'm a type of girl that thinks outside of the box. You know, don't box me in. There's a lot inside of me, and there's a lot for me to give and offer to the community. So independent is the only way to go. Yeah.
There are a lot of issues that, you know, Lori Lightfoot was hired by majority trustees to look into. A lot of issues that she brought to light. Any of those issues really stick out to you that you think really need to be paid attention to or focused on?
Well, definitely the finances. You know, when you look at the deficit and you look at bills not being paid, you look at the mismanagement of money, that is one of the main things that we truly have to focus on. You have to manage your money. You got to budget your money. You got to, you know, you got to live not beneath your means, but you got to live within your means. So that's one of the main issues, is the budget and transparency. You know, I hear a lot of people say transparency, but are you really telling us the truth as far as to what's going on with the village? And honestly, no. I think not. There's a lot that's really going on that the people really don't even know. And it's important to be transparent.
None of these people know.
When I do things, I like to sit down and say, look, here's the books. This is where we're at. This is what we spent. Right. This is what's coming in, and this is what's going out. Right. And I believe when you have full transparency and you tell the people, then they don't mind getting behind you and rallying with you and being there for you. But you have to really, truly be transparent. Right. You have to. That's the only way it's going to work.
That's why they got something called audits.
Talk to me about is village hall being closed off. You know, you have that little area.
Oh yeah.
Do your business. And then also, it's
just incorporate the city back in the Cooke County. Get rid of dogs. That makes sense, MD.
Especially with the village hall. You know, there's days I've had to go take care of business, and I feel like, oh God, I'm in a 4x4 box. Like, make this stuff make sense. As far as the police department, we have to get a chief that's going to build the morale of the officers. I've spoken with so many officers.
All of them.
And it's the morality is so low. And I'm a firm believer, when you build a morale, you make it a safe space for them to work, and then you have to build the bridge and close the gap between the residents and the police officers. They have to understand one another. And then there's another thing, when I talk to officers, they're mentally so frustrated. And this is one of the things we need to do. We need to make sure we take care of the mental health of our officers. Because a lot of them are stressed. And I am a police officer's mother, so I understand it. And with my daughter, I have her once a month. We have a mental check. I create a safe space where you can come, you can sit, you can talk about the issues, you can talk about the things that you're dealing with on the job. You get a chance to release. Because a lot of these officers, they go out on the street, they're under so much stress. So by the time they get to that person that they're dealing with, they're just ready to offload their frustration. So we have to make sure we keep the mental health of our officers up to par.
That in mind, the fire department also, they're working no contract. Again, some of the things you may want to look at when you get in office, but is that something else that you?
Oh yes, most definitely. Because if your fire department, your police department, those are the main entities that you want up and running. You want to make sure those guys are taken care of. You want to make sure their pay is correct. You want to make sure their 401ks, you know, all the benefits that come along with it, because they are the heartbeat of the community. You know, if the house catch on a fire and we don't have firemen, we're in bad shape. So the police department, the fire department, those are major entities that must be taken care of.
You know, Lori Lightfoot said, you know, her investigation found these things, these problem areas, but she feels, you know, that this community can get back to good government and can right the ship. Is that what you can do?
Yes. So today, I actually had a meeting with investors, and I have like literally been going hard since I've jumped into this race. And a lot of the investors, they are willing to invest. They're willing to help bring businesses back into this community, but they want to make sure that they're doing it under the right leadership. It's nothing against the other two that has been in office or that's running for office, but they know me, they know of my character. A lot of them have worked with me. They're willing to bet their money on me and help building this community back up. And that's what we need. We know, yeah, economics. I mean, it's just like running a household. If you don't have any economics coming in, you can't run the household. So we got to get investors. We got to bring businesses back. When you make it attractive, then you start attracting home buyers.
Bribe money. Okay.
And a lot of these homes need to be put back on the tax brackets. And that's one of the things I have been doing here in Dolton since 2012. I have been making sure that every house possible, if I can help it, get it rehabbed, get it sold, get it back on the tax bracket. Because the more homeowners we have, it eases the load for everyone.
It does, but property taxes have increased in this community and all throughout the Southland. And that would, I would think something needs to be addressed there too, because a lot of people can't afford their homes.
Yes, well, I actually, a week ago, talked with the Cooke County assessor concerning the taxes.
You
like,
belong
you got to
jail.
explain to me, why are you just raising taxes? Like, what is the point of just sitting down saying, okay, we're going to raise taxes? Do you guys take the time out to actually come out and access the homes? Or you just sit behind a desk and just raise the prices? So yes, something definitely has to be done about that.
How do you get people to know who you are? Are you door knocking, or how do people get to know you, Casundra?
I'm a door knocker. I like to go knock on doors.
Yeah, but
when I came in this neighborhood, I knocked on every door and introduced myself. Hi, I'm Casundra. I'm your neighbor. Let's get to meet. Let's sit and have lunch. I've thrown barbecues. I just, like for the women on the block, I throw a tea party. Come on, let me introduce myself so you can get to know me and things of that nature. So I'm a door knocker. I'm a people person. I like to go knock on doors, introduce myself. We were out this weekend and so many people invited us into the house. Come on in. And I'm like, yes, that's my type of thing. Talk to me. Tell me your issues. Tell me what you got going on. What are your concerns about the village? You know, so I'm a door knocker. I got to get, I got to get out there. Internet is perfect. It's, it's fine and good, but it's nothing like that one-on-one contact with the residents.
So social media is okay, but you're more that in-person contact.
Yes.
Because if a Dolton resident says, hey, I want to know more about her, what should we tell them?
You should, first of all, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a woman that cares. And I'm just overall a good person. I tell people, get to know me. You get to know me, Regina, you'll be like, oh my God, she is just so cool and down to earth. I mean, I'm the type of person that I will give you the shirt off my back. People will tell you that know me on this block. I have taken in foster kids. I have taken in homeless people. I have let them live in my house. I have adjusted my life to help someone get up on their feet. Those are the type of things that I have done.
We need $1,000
and I have worked in this community.
Campaign.
My hands has literally been on 5 houses in this block.
We need a
this
donation.
House right here, when our neighbor passed, I bought the house from the son so it wouldn't just not sit. So it can be back on the tax bracket. I was willing to work extra hours, do whatever I had to do to make sure that this house stayed on the tax bracket.
And you did a lot of the work, all the work. You would not just, you did some of the physical work as well.
Yeah, I'm a contractor. I did like 99.9% of the work. I'm that type of girl. You see me like this, but when it's time to work, you see me with the headband, the construction boots on, you see me with the tool belt on. I get in there and I get the job done. Yeah, and that's what I do.
Get the job done, huh?
April 1st election, you're going to be doing a lot of door knocking up until then.
Yes, every weekend throughout the week. I'm out. I know Dolton is kind of divided up in like 4 zones. And each zone, each weekend, I'm going out, knocking on doors, passing out flyers, addressing the issues of the people. And I want people to feel safe. I want you to get to know me. Forget about what you hear on social media. Forget about what you see on the internet. Get to know me for who I am. Sit down and have a conversation with me. I'm an open book. I have nothing to hide. Yeah, I'm an open book.
My next question, I have to ask you this. The meetings can be a bit wild sometimes. Do you go to the meetings? If so, why or why not?
I go to the meetings, but I'm the type of person, I like to be productive. I don't like my time wasted. Because one thing about time, and I'm getting older, you got to maximize every moment.
Getting old,
so when I
tell
go to
me
these
about
meetings,
it, lady.
and a lot of times I feel like they're a waste of time because you get nothing accomplished. So sometimes it's like, I'd rather have a hammer in my hand, or I'd rather have my chef jacket on. I'd rather be producing, you know. So I'll go to the meetings, but when it's not productive, I can find something else to be doing. Yeah, I'd rather come out and cut the grass of the whole block than to be sitting in a meeting and watching them argue and fight back and forth and point the finger, and at the end of the meeting, nothing gets accomplished.
And then who suffers?
The residents.
Finish the sentence for me. Dolton is
being rebuilt by Casundra Hopson-Jordan and Denasha Harris for the Rebuilding Dolton Party. It's going to be rebuilt. That's my goal. I'm going to rebuild this village. And I am that type of mayor. As I told someone the other day, you will see me out there cutting grass. You will see me out there planting flowers. That's the type of mayor I am. Listen, behind the desk is good, but I'm the type that, listen, if the neighbor or resident called me and said, I need help with something, I'm that one. I'm in the car. I'm there at the house. I'm getting it done. Because that's just the type of person I am. I'm military. You know, we don't just sit around and we go out in the field and we get it done.
what branch?
Navy.
How many years?
I was in 6 years. I did 4 reserve, and then I finished out, 4 active, and then I finished out with the reserve. I was in doing the Gulf War.
Thank you.
Oh,
You're
so
welcome.
she's a war veteran.
So after that Gulf War, I'm like,
yes, she's a war.
You know, I love my country, but I love me more. Yeah.
But you gotta love your people too, Sista. Channel 5, NBC in Chi-Town.
I don't think she's black first.
No.
But she is a different option. So
I'll give the sister the benefit. Oh, I'm sorry, Brother Che, go ahead.
Jason House defeated Tiffany Henry a week or 2 ago. So it's gonna be this Sister Casundra versus Jason House.
Oh, okay. Okay. What is the population of Dolton, Illinois?
I think like 40,000. Let me look it up.
Yeah, because I've been through Dolton. I think I've been through Dolton about 3 times in my lifetime.
I don't think I've ever been through Dolton, unless it was on the Greyhound.
Yeah.
Let's see, Dolton, Illinois.
Yeah.
The village in Illinois. Dang. Yeah.
Well, if she gets out there, and gets, go ahead. I'm sorry.
20,410 as of 2023.
Okay, so that's about 21,000 now. Okay. So she would need 12,000 votes of Dolton to secure the election. That is, if depending on how many candidates she got. Okay.
I think it's her and the brother, Jason.
Okay. Okay. All right. So once again, you got Black Illinois politics. Hopefully, they'll do something for the Black community and making them a priority. You see what I mean?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Dolton is majority Black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tiffany lost last month, end of last month, to Jason House. The
Okay,
Dolton.
well, she still gets a pension as mayor, I believe.
Mayor was defeated in a landslide in Tuesday's Democratic primaries. So she lost the primary, and Jason House took that spot. So he's going to be running against Casundra.
Okay. Okay. All righty. Okay. Okay, Brother Cherry, this episode is 3 hours long.
Yeah, no, I have a meeting that's starting shortly. So thank y'all for tuning in with your closing statements on your way out. Shabaka, thank you for joining us at the late hour or the early hour.
Okay.
How you look at it.
And like and subscribe to Frontline Black News. And then the next time we come on, rather if it's Frontline Black News or Shabaka's Black Experience, which is all part of Frontline campaign, I'm gonna put my email address up there, the frederick.d36@yahoo.com, and then we need some sponsors badly, okay, because we're going broke over here. Okay, Frontline Black News, we're all inclusive when it comes to the Black community. Okay, and also too, we've had OTBs come up here that have been very, very respectful, so we want to acknowledge them, as well too. Is because this is a mighty, mighty task, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I would like to at least make at least $100 for me, so I could go on the crap table and try to put it up to $1,000. You know what I'm saying? Out here in Sin City, and what have you. And then also too, I don't know what's the latest on the Keefe D case out here in Clark County, so I'm gonna try to pull some data on that and whatnot. And then Donald Duck, man, you remind me of a jackass car salesman by the name of Cal Worthington in Los Angeles. Him and his dog Spot, and that fool would come out there with everything but a dog. Send him out there on rhinoceros, elephants, jackasses, and even had some reptilians with him. So Donald Duck, now you turned into a car salesman for Tesla. And then Stinky Bird and Little Stink were out there, and Donald Duck is sitting up there telling everybody to go buy these pieces of shit. He's crazy. But it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Donald Duck car salesman, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Wow. And also, too, one of you clowns in the Kangaroo Supreme Court gonna start putting up some judicial branch legislation or judicial branch regulation or whatever, how the hell you do it, and regulate this fool. He is dangerous. And Canada says, well, since the U.S. is doing tariffs, we're going to shoot them back at you, like Smokey Robinson's song. That's back at you, at you, at you. That's the same damn thing you do to me. That's back at you. So therefore, expect all your prices on your aluminum and steel to go up. I went and spent $55 on groceries yesterday, and I only got enough food for 2 meals. $55. $55.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's crazy. And then one of your main indicators. Now, let me see if I got it right, because it's been years since I've been in economics class. Oh, yeah, is the GNP, the gross national product. So keep an eye on that there, people, because that there is an indicator of how much you're going to be paying for your gas, car maintenance, food, rent. You see what I mean? And then quite naturally, of course, they're going to raise your damn taxes, too. And this is the shit that these bastards don't tell you about. And that's right, Brother Che. Reparations now. Cut the damn check. You know what I'm saying? Today. You know what I'm saying? Today. And J.D. Vance, you could introduce the bill in the U.S. Senate. Oh, JD. And then Governor Bud, your old raggedy ass needs to go on and retire. You know what I'm saying? And Gruesome Newsom, well, you're gruesome, Newsom. That's the only thing I can say. Is that it's gruesome.
We got to wrap it up. So thank y'all for tuning in. Season 4, episode 50, continuation part 2. Because part 1 was an utter travesty and a disaster.
Yes.
Frontline Black News. We'll see y'all on Friday for Grand Rising. Got to take a few days off. But I am going to go live with this meeting about the 5 Points Improvement District on my personal. So if y'all want to tap it.
Okay. All right, yeah, that'll be nice to improve the 5 Points District, because that there, man, could be like the Mile High Black Wall Street. You see, we need more industry, ladies and gentlemen. And then I know there's people out there that got moral issues about gambling, but what they could do is tax the shit out of the state of Nevada on these establishments out there and start the reparations fund. You know what I'm saying? Because from what I understand, the first black man that came through here was James Beckworth.
Yep, James Beckworth. Yep, that is correct.
Yeah. So this the Silver State. Go tax the Golden State. You know what I'm saying? Give us some damn mineral rights on that Comstock load so we could have access to gold and silver too, because I think they still got gold in them there hills.
And tax the Centennial State as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Shabaka Jane Corey. Please like and follow our like page on Facebook of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. There's where we keep you up to date on what we're doing. And definitely check us Tuesday when we do Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced.
Check us for Friday, Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase.
Oh, okay. What's today? Man, I don't even know what damn day of the week it is. I'm so tired. Yeah, after tomorrow. That's right. Yeah, so check us on Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase. This Friday, it will be 8 a.m. in the Pacific. It'll be 11 a.m. in the East. It will be 10 a.m. up there in Chicago, and 9 a.m. up there in Denver. And put the ponies back in the barn, man.
Shipwrecked gators in the bottom of the hull of the ship, where they belong.
At the top, being world champions, but they need work. They need work bad. Because that dog, we lost to Scrubs all season last year, losing a bum.
October.
It's crazy.
We're going back in time here.
And y'all are gonna remain, but
man, I call you in a couple of weeks, man, on basketball, man. You know what I'm saying? See what's happening with the. No, man, Warriors come out to play. Warriors come out to play. Lakers, you got to do some work.
Bakers gonna get smashed. It's gonna come down to us in Oklahoma City, and we're gonna beat them.
Man, put them buckets back up there in them coal mines of the Rocky Mountains. Yeah, put the buckets back in the coal mines up there in Colorado, because y'all got mountains galore out there.
We had gold galore.
Yeah, so the buckets, they need to be in the mines pushing them little carts, man.
The buckets,
you know,
we shoot buckets. The Nuggets, we are named after the gold rush.
Man, where everybody was bum rushing San Francisco trying to get that gold. Why you think it's called the Barbary Coast? As in barbarians. And I'm going to pull that article up for a future date that I won't read what they was talking about San Francisco in 1876.
All right, Shabaka, this meeting has started, so thank y'all for tapping in. Join us for right. In the chase, and I will see y'all then. In the meantime, make sure y'all like and subscribe to all of our platforms. Frontline Black News on YouTube and Facebook. The Revolutionary Agenda on YouTube and Facebook.
And hit that PayPal.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit PayPal, jparis45@gmail.com. Donate $1 million, donate $5. Go break your piggy bank, put your $1.50 in it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a community effort, and we're going broke over here. We need help. We're sending out an SOS. Save our station. All right. Yes, sir. All right. So I'm signing off from Sin City. Clank, clank. Come on, 7-Eleven. All right. We'll talk to you all soon. All right. And thank you for having me this morning, Brother Che, and whatnot.
Project I think is going on.
All right. Talk to you all soon. All right. I'm out.
Late 2023.